Hi everyone, how you all doing? Apologies for the later live stream than normal, but I've been hard at work working on two videos today. I was working on a video yesterday as well, and the day before that. Basically, I saw Deadpool and Wolverine on Thursday here in the UK. Saw it on Thursday, and I wanted to give it. I wrote my review, but I didn't want to record it straight away just to get it out for the sake of getting it out as quick as I could. I thought I could make my review better worded, so I spent an extra day writing the script and just making sure that my thoughts in my head were clear. And then I thought, okay, now I'll start editing the video, which I did. And I was working on that. Then SDCC happened, the Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con with Marvel. And also the Penguin, which I was really looking forward to. I've been watching a little bit of that convention, but I've not seen all of it. And then I was like, crap, they dropped a bomb in terms of Robert Downey Jr. coming back. So I was like, okay, now I gotta do a video on that. Because you guys know I'm trying to do more topical videos on my channel, so as well as doing a live stream on it, I thought I would actually go and edit a video. It was my intention to actually get that video of Robert Downey Jr. up before this live stream, hence it took longer, but in the end, I got the video finished, but I need a bit of time to create the thumbnail, and it would have been too late to do the live stream if I went to go make the thumbnail. So basically, I've got my review of Deadpool and Wolverine complete, and I've got my more detailed video about Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Doctor Doom complete as well. So that's two videos done, which will be uploaded in the next day or two. I'll release the Iron Man one first, and then the Deadpool review. So yeah, I've been super busy, and I am exhausted right now because quickly I had to, as quick as I could, set up this live stream right after I finished editing those videos as well. So I have been so busy today. And on top of that, it's been like 27 degrees Celsius today, so it's been hot. And like I said, I do all my work in my attic, so I was sweating today. I actually had to have a shower. It was getting that hot. So yeah, it was one heck of a day today, hence the late live stream, because I had to get those two videos ready, which will be uploaded in a day or two. So yeah, King of the Monsters, I am getting the water, and I think I'm already through more than half of it, and the stream hasn't even properly started yet. Darn, man. You can tell I was trying to rush as quick as I could to make the thumbnail for this video and then to get this stream ready, because if you actually take a look at the thumbnail of this live stream, I realized, crap, I put DJ, not RDJ, in the thumbnail, so that shows you how quick I was trying to get this thumbnail, everything done, and get that other video edited and stuff. Man, it just makes me sweat thinking about it. Oh, man, today was a hard day. I probably need to take a break tomorrow, seriously, because I'm exhausted. Mr. Llama says, wait, show the water. I think we have the same. The water bottle, I think we have the same. This is the water bottle. I got one of the bigger ones, but yeah, they're quite common. There's smaller ones, like 500ml. I got this 1 litre one. I think it's 1 litre. And yeah, I did that for a very specific reason. I did. Give me a quick second. Did someone just knock on the door at this time? It's quite late here. I'm surprised someone knocked. So that's okay. It's just my brother, so it's alright. Oh, wow. Oh. Okay, so let's see. Oh, there's 55 of you watching. That's great. I'm waiting for some more of you to come because this is a big topic that we're all going to want to talk about. And for those of you that can't join the stream, don't worry. I'm talking about this in great detail here, but you're definitely going to want to know my thoughts that I've compiled with that other video where I talk about what this means for Robert Downey Jr. and everything. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about here. It's interesting. San Diego Comic-Con, this was actually Marvel's worst San Diego Comic-Con that I have ever seen. Hang on. King of the Monsters 2021, I am aware you did those 2 Streamlab notifications. You did it earlier on in the day as I was editing my 2 videos. I was actually surprised. I was like, the stream hasn't started yet, dude. I was thinking, but then when I read your message, you said just in case you missed it. I was like, oh, okay. Don't worry. I was going to read it anyway, but it will be at the end when we do the Q&A. I'll refer back to your messages then. So don't worry. I'll do that later. But yeah, Fireboys, how am I doing? I am doing good, but I am exhausted. I've worked on 2 videos. My Deadpool and Wolverine review, as well as the video talking about a more detailed video where I talk about Robert Downey Jr. coming back and my thoughts on it. So I'll give you my thoughts in this live stream, but you're really going to want to check that other video where I've got editing in there and some visuals and some cool edits, and I've kind of developed my style a bit more for when I talk about this stuff with my background and everything. But yeah, so anyway, let me talk about that San Diego Comic-Con. And you guys all know the rules. Anytime you want to... Oh, I forgot. Speaking of, I know the rules, but I forgot. Anytime you want to get a question in right now, like immediately, what you got to do is either do a super chat or a Streamlabs chat right here, which I'm posting into the chat. And I'm going to pin that. And basically, if you donate to me via Streamlabs, all the donation money that you donate goes to me. None of it goes to YouTube, because YouTube usually do take a little percentage out of it. So if you can donate, it's always appreciated, always helps the channel, and Streamlabs is the best way to do it. But yeah, so where was I? But yeah, I was very disappointed with San Diego Comic-Con. Everyone was, and I was like glad to see it wasn't just me, it was everyone else as well. They were bored with the what was it, Captain America Brave New World. They were bored with that panel because we didn't know anything new, you know. They didn't show no trailers because we already got one, so it's like, why is everyone even there? We also, the funny part was when, I think it was Harrison Ford or it was Anthony Mackie who said that this was a long shoot. And I and many other people were like, well, yeah, it was. They reshot it the second time, so it was a very long shoot. So that was the only funny thing about that. And then, yeah, people were bored of that. There was also something Harrison Ford said. Harrison Ford, they asked him, like, how come you didn't grow the Thunderbolt Ross mustache? Then he goes, he does that silence that he does when he's holding the microphone. Let me see, have I got something constituting a microphone here? Let's use this pen. Pretend it's a microphone. And he does that thing where Harrison Ford just stays still and just stares at you almost like he's looking into your soul. Or just looking into your eyes thinking, how could you have possibly asked such a dumb question? You know how Harrison Ford's got that weird thing where he has a pause. He pauses. He looks. Well, if someone asked me to grow the mustache, I would have grown it. Basically, if he was told, he basically said that if I was told to grow the mustache, I would have grown it. So basically, Marvel did not tell him to grow that mustache, which is basically one of the like most memorable designs of Thunderbolt Ross, is that over-the-top mustache. They didn't tell him to grow it, which is funny because coming off of Deadpool and Wolverine, which was all about the details for the fans and everything, it's funny to see the MCU didn't give a shit about those details, and it's a very obvious detail. They didn't tell him to do it, and Harrison Ford would have been perfectly willing to as well. So it's not like Harrison Ford was being a diva and saying, no, I'm not growing a dumb mustache. So I thought that was very bad of Marvel. It shows they don't pay attention to the details when they bloody well should. So yeah, but we know now they don't follow the comics. If you look at all these interviews with the writers for their last several shows, they said that, we were told not to read the comics. Now, I've got 2 super chats here from a Mr. CCS Damon. Oh, 928 Studios is who that is. And he's done 2 £3.89 donations on Streamlabs. Thank you very much, buddy. You wrote down 2 messages here. I'll read them both, and then I'll continue what I was saying. His first message is, if executed correctly, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom could actually work. However, it is extremely disappointing that someone new wasn't given the chance to play this great character. Thanks for continuing to be awesome, Eric. Oh, thank you for continuing to be awesome and for donating. I will talk more about that in a bit, but I do agree with you. And the second question is, if executed correctly, this can probably work, but it's still kinda not great. Much better, however, than the multiverse of badness with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and the awfulness of Ant-Man 3. Happy talk to you as always, Eric. Much support. Oh, thank you very much, 928 Studios, for the 2 donations. I really appreciate it. Oh, 928 says, oh, I accidentally sent 2 Streamline messages. They're essentially the same thing, but I think you should read the second one only, if any of them. Well, I read both of them for you. But thank you very much for those donations. Like I said, the donations really help, so thank you very, very much. Spirit Hero indeed said it right. Rest in peace, William Hurt. Now, if you saw my trailer reaction and even my video discussion of Captain America Brave New World, you'll know that I said that Ross, the characters need to hold him to his shit, so all the stuff that he's done, but instead they don't. The characters don't. They just seem to ignore all the crap he's put them through, and they just continue working for him, which is so silly. Oh. JWK, you've not missed anything yet. I'm just doing little talks right now. We haven't got into the actual story yet, but don't worry, we will. Oh, look at that, 63 of you. So yes, we will get into this very soon. There's a lot to say. Trevor is talking about Cillian Murphy. We will talk about that as well. But yeah. Jordan said, thoughts on the Penguin being female for Batman on Amazon? No, that can't be true. No, they didn't. You've got to be kidding me. That is shocking. Hold on, everyone. Batman Caped Crusader. Penguin. Oh my god. They gender swapped the Penguin. Are they freaking stupid or something? What the hell did they do that for? I know they're doing some things with Harley Quinn that I don't like the idea of, but now they're doing it with frickin' Penguin. What the hell is wrong with them? They keep gender flipping characters. They don't need to. Why do they do that? Well, they're gonna bloody hear from me about that. I'm not gonna let them go on that. Yes, everyone's like, damn, Jesus, all of you guys are like, had no idea. I didn't know about that either. Yep, King of the Monster says, Eric just found out, lol. Yeah, that was, yeah, you literally just saw my reaction to that. Ridiculous. Why do they keep doing this? And Matt Reeves was producer. I would expect him to say no. Or did he even have the power to say no? What is going on? Seriously. George Phillips says, stop gender bending stuff. Yep. Jess says, Eric, the Batman is making more spin-offs. I know, and that's cool, but oh boy, that's so stupid why they would do that. Charlton says, I thought wokeness was about to be behind us. Yeah, clearly it ain't. The Time Shadow has done a £5 donation. Thank you so much, bud. Let's see. And he says, quick question, is the stream going to involve spoilers for Deadpool 3? Because I've not seen it yet. No, it won't have spoilers for Deadpool 3. I'm reserving that for my review, which will be coming up in the next day or two. So, there'll be a light spoiler in the next, well, kind of a spoiler in my review, but that's only because it was in the 3rd trailer. So if you've seen the 3rd trailer, you'll know what the spoiler is. If not, stay clear from my review until you've seen the film. Alright then. Well, race bending is fine if you do it right, King of the Monsters, but it's gender bending which never works, but they still continue to do it. You know what, guys? I'm actually feeling a little hot in here, especially talking to you guys. It's hot any other day. Any day it's hot, but while I'm talking to you, it's even hotter, so I'm going to just put this fan on, and hopefully you guys don't hear it, I hope. Let me know if you can hear the fan. Okay. Oh, Trevor says Sonic 3 trailer on Tuesday. Oh, that's good. Took them bloody long, didn't it? Yeah, okay, so 91 of you watching, that's good. A lot of you guys do want to hear about this. So yeah, the Penguin gender swap out of the way for now. Let's talk about the big story. Okay. Now, you guys will remember a few live streams ago, I Hate Anime says the fan is barely audible. That is fantastic. Okay. Whew. Now, you'll remember on my last couple of streams ago that I thought when movie past the gender bending, but we weren't. Why can Hollywood learn? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat. That's what I got distracted by. Okay, now you'll know a couple weeks ago I actually covered the story where the Russo brothers were in talks to direct 2 new Avengers movies, and at the time they were rumors, and they were just. I said they're not confirmed yet. They're in talks, but people were like, no, confirmed. I don't know why people were like, it's confirmed, but they were in talks. And apparently Marvel shot down one of their ideas. So that basically says that I don't know what was going on, but basically they came to an arrangement, and this is what they've come to agreement on, is what these guys are going to do. Now, what are the Russo brothers going to do? Because we've seen them do Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame before, but what are they going to be doing now with their Avengers movies? So, the Russo brothers, it's been confirmed they are going to make 2 Avengers movies. That's what's been agreed upon. But they're actually not. Okay, you know what? I was gonna try to build up to this. Let's just quit beating around the bush. Let's just show you exactly what it is that happened. The Russo brothers said they're going to make 2 Avengers movies. One's called Avengers Doomsday and the other Avengers Endgame. And of course, Avengers Doomsday means that they're going to introduce Doctor Doom. And it says that this is going to be our new villain, Doctor Doom. But who's going to play Doctor Doom? And then Robert Downey Jr. showed up on stage. Now, this is something that we said Marvel would actually do. And we said that if they do something like this, essentially it means they'll have thrown in the towel. They will have given up, basically. They can't fix the MCU, and they're doing now the safe thing just to get people back, is what they says that they were going to do. And now, yeah, we've got Robert Downey Jr. here, and I just have a lot of questions. But before I have questions, I have a couple of things I'd like to say. First one, it is true. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And also, yeah, I'm apologize, guys. It is very hot. It's hard to think as I'm doing this. It's just gotten so hot and I can't control it. The fan is not helping too much. But I will say this. Marvel have not really had much to talk about in terms of announcements lately. They just haven't. Every time they do an announcement now, it's really kind of lame, or there's nothing to really talk about. This does warrant conversation. Now, this is the first time in years where we've actually had something worthwhile to talk about from the MCU. But it's just, how long have we all wanted to see Doctor Doom in the MCU? We've wanted to see him in the MCU for so long, and we were all speculating which actors they could get. Even Michael Fassbender was being talked about before, like potentially he could play Doctor Doom. But then there was also Cillian Murphy, who was a recent example where people were like, oh, Cillian Murphy could play Doctor Doom. But again, people were like, whoever it is, it'll be exciting when they do it, and it has to be a great actor. And Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor. If anything, watching him in Oppenheimer has shown another side to his acting. But the problem is, in the MCU, he's just too well known. Way too well known. You can't look at Robert Downey Jr. in any other movie and think, he started the MCU. That's Iron Man. So imagine having those thoughts in your head as you're watching him be the villain of the next couple of Avengers movies. This really is just not good. It shows that Marvel hit the panic button. They essentially have told us right now that we can't fix it. We've screwed up. We can't fix the MCU. We don't know what to do at this point. So they went back to Tony Stark, essentially. It's like, how do we bring Tony Stark back to the MCU without bringing Tony Stark back to the MCU? And they found a way. And it's just full of desperation. You can just tell they are desperate. they have no idea what they're going to do to remedy the mistakes of the MCU. And I think it should be very simple. It just means that you've got to hire better writers. Like, I'm surprised it took the MCU this long to hire the Russo brothers back, because the Russo brothers said they would only come back for Secret Wars. But meanwhile, Kevin Feige was constantly coming in with other writers and other directors to do Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. So this tells me that I think Kevin Feige... Now, there's someone I follow, a Hollywood writer, who speculates that basically that Kevin Feige did not want the Russo brothers to come back. And the reason why he doesn't want them to come back is because apparently he thinks that the Russos are trying to come after Kevin Feige's job. And after they did Winter Soldier, in Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, the Russos, he apparently want to, like, you know, get a promotion, basically. They want to up their way up the pecking order. And you can tell that Kevin Feige did not want to hire them, even when he was in deep trouble a long time ago. So they kept delaying these Avengers movies, and they were like, well, it will happen with Kang and all that, and look at how Kang has turned out. And it's like, he was still like, no, I'm going to hire Jeff Loveness and the other writer who did Doctor Strange 2 and the Ant-Man 3 writer and all that stuff. And then he was thinking of getting certain directors on board. It was just a mess. Feige was like all over the place with his Avengers films. He didn't know what to do. It's clear he didn't know what to do. So now I feel like this is something that someone higher up, above Kevin Feige's pay grade, came in and told him, you know what? You do not want to hire the Russo brothers back, because clearly Kevin Feige is threatened by them. Because the Russo brothers are doing so good, Marvel could look at them and think, huh, we could get rid of Feige and get these two in, because these two seem to be doing a better job than Feige. So Feige doesn't want them in, because I think that person I follow on Patreon, that writer, who has basically speculated this is his speculation, so of course I'm speculating too. Feige is threatened by the Russo brothers, and he does not want them to come back, because if they come back and succeed, it basically shows that Feige is not the reason they're succeeding, because he's been screwing around with these last couple of phases. So it shows that the Russos are coming in, and they know better on what to do. And Feige doesn't want that on his conscience, because already the Russos got so much more praise for, you know, the MCU with their movie installments, that Feige, I think he probably realized he feels like he's not getting the credit he should be getting. So I think he really did want to kind of like just keep the Russo brothers out. So I think someone on the top of the company, someone higher than Feige, it could have been Bob Iger, says, you know what, you've had enough time, but you've been screwing up and you're not making things better. So you know what, we're going to get the Russo brothers back in, something that you've not wanted, but tough, your time is up. They're coming in, they're going to do what they want. So what did they do? They got rid of Kang. Because that was supposed to be the Kang Dynasty first. That's what Avengers 5 was supposed to be. But the Russo brothers basically got rid of the Kang Dynasty and have now called it Avengers Doomsday. That basically undercuts everything Kevin Feige was trying to do by building up Kang. But thing is, he screwed up the building up of Kang, because the strongest Kang, Kang the Destroyer, got completely, like, got his ass kicked by a bunch of ants, and he got his butt kicked by Ant-Man the Wasp. Are you guys seeing me? It looks like it's breaking up. He got his butt kicked by Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's no coming back after that, because if you can get kicked by them, your ass kicked by them, it means anyone else above Ant-Man and the Wasp, any superhero stronger than them, could easily take out Kang. Especially the weaker variants, because remember, Kang the Destroyer was the strongest variant. So if he was the strongest, that means that the other Kangs are all weaker. And I think the Russos were like, yeah, we can't do anything with that weak villain of yours now, so we could have if you allowed us. We could have if you had allowed us to work on Kang, but you didn't. So now we need another villain, and that's why they says they're going to come in and they're going to have a movie to themselves to develop. They're going to have a movie to themselves to develop their new villain, Doctor Doom, and then they're going to have their movie that will come in and be Secret Wars. Whew, so yeah, ultimately, so basically, ultimately, yeah, Feige did not want the Russos in, but now they are in. And if you look at him, the way he greets them at the panel, he should be so happy to have those guys back because they are the ones that made the MCU as successful as it is with their movies. But Feige seemed very underplayed if you look at the... if you actually look at the panel. He seemed so underplayed. And it's unusual behavior for someone who should be looking at the people that are like the top of the MCU sort of like food chain. He's not. It didn't seem like he was as energized or happy to see them as he was the cast and crew for Thunderbolts and Captain America: Brave New World. So I think the Russos, he was not happy that they came back, but thing is tough. Not to mention Deadpool and Wolverine, it was a fun movie and it paid attention to what fans wanted, but that's because Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are fans. Kevin Feige, he allowed them to do what they wanted to do, but I feel like there was more to it. I feel like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman had a lot of capital because they were such big people in the industry that the industry would, like, they'd be stupid to say no to them. So they allowed them to do what they wanted to do, and the movie did not feel at all like an MCU movie, except for in one place, which you'll hear in my review. But it did not at all feel like an MCU movie, which I was so happy about. That's why I loved the comedy in Deadpool and Wolverine. But but now that Deadpool and Wolverine is out, it doesn't mean the MCU is back on track, because if you just throw or push us to a Deadpool and Wolverine aside and look at the rest of their movies and shows they got coming, like Agatha All Along, Captain America: Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Wonder Man, which is meant to be a horror comedy just like Agatha, and then there's also going to be Ironheart, which is a Riri Williams show, which apparently has been in the can for so long, but they've not released it yet because clearly they don't have faith in it. It just goes to show that the success of Deadpool and Wolverine was all to do with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. Excuse me, I just touched the microphone. The success of that movie was all to do with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. And when they're not there, writing the movie and working on the movie and taking care of their characters and not turning them into just, like, you know, compromised MCU toys or machines, they have actually kept dignity in their characters, something that the MCU has not done with their heroes. So, yeah, it just basically shows that Feige's not been doing a good job. And we're going to see that with these upcoming projects that have been reshot and rewritten like crazy to hell and back. You're going to basically see that, yeah, Deadpool Wolverine, the only reason it was great was because of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. It wasn't great because of Kevin Feige. And I do wonder if they're going to eventually push him out, because he's contributing to making so many mistakes for the company and he's lost them so much money. Meanwhile, look at what happened with Deadpool Wolverine. It's made over $400 million alone on its opening weekend. That's the highest for any R-rated movie. And yeah, that's not something Feige had anything to do with. That's something the Fox regime had to do with. That's something Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman had to do with. It was their dream to make a movie like this. Feige essentially let them, but let's just say it was Kevin Feige who made Deadpool and Wolverine. I can tell you for a fact, you would not have had the same movie that we got, because they would have turned Hugh Jackman into a more of a jokester, kind of like what they did with Daredevil in the She-Hulk show. They did not keep the tone of the character. They would not have kept the tone of the character intact for Wolverine, just like they didn't with Daredevil in She-Hulk. But Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds actually wrote for Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine, and he maintained the dignity of the character. He maintained the dignity of the character, and he did not screw him over, which is what Kevin Feige would have done, because he would have wanted to convert him into an MCU stereotype, the kind of jokey hero that the MCU always has. So, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. coming back. I wonder if it's a Kevin Feige decision choice or a Russo brothers choice. Regardless, it was not a good choice, I don't think. Because I really wish we could have seen another actor. People are saying Cillian Murphy could have done a great job, and I think, yeah, Cillian Murphy, I think he can play the crazy he can. Yes, Adam Grunther, I did like Deadpool and Wolverine. My review is coming in a day or two, because I'm going to upload a separate video I had made and spent all day editing today of this whole announcement. So I'll be uploading that soon, and then I'll be doing my review of Deadpool Wolverine, which is already complete, but I'll put it up there. So yeah, It is insane that they're trying to bring him back when we could have had someone else. I was so looking forward to seeing someone else inhabit the character of Doctor Doom. A new face, or maybe even a face we've seen before but had never been in an MCU comic book movie. Cillian Murphy would have been an interesting choice to see what he would have done, because if you've seen movies like Red Eye, and especially Batman Begins, Cillian Murphy can put the crazy eyes on, and he can get really freaky. He was Scarecrow, for crying out loud, in Batman. And the fact they've not brought him or anyone else who potentially could have brought the crazy in, or the scary in, I think is very disappointing. I really do think it is very disappointing that they've done that. Oh, Adam Grunther says he would have chosen Gary Oldman. That's an interesting choice. I think Cillian Murphy has got a bit of that odd look to him, where he looks a little odd. He looks normal, I think, in real life, but when you see him in movies, he can look a little bit odd. We even saw in Oppenheimer how they could, using makeup and things, and even just because of his own acting, he would lose weight. He looked creepy. There was like a creepy element to him. He almost looked like he was, especially in Oppenheimer when he was losing so much weight, there was almost like he almost looked a tad bit deformed in his face, where he looked weaker. His eyes looked like they had gotten tighter. So I think he could have been an interesting choice, but I never settled on a choice for Doctor Doom because I just didn't know. So I was hoping the MCU could surprise us in this regard. And they did surprise us, but who are we kidding? They took the safe route out. They really did. They just played it safe. And I am very disappointed that they did that and that they played it safe. We've got a Streamlabs chat from King of the Monsters who says, in the 1970s, Godzilla was the villain against the Avengers in Marvel Comics. What if instead of Dr. Doom, Godzilla became the villain of Avengers 5? How would you feel about that? I would not feel good. That is interesting. I didn't know that Godzilla was in the Marvel Comics like that. I would not like it if Godzilla was in there because he's got no personality. He's just a kind of a monster. He's got some personality, but not much. He's not like King Kong. But no, you want like a proper Marvel supervillain in there. We're not out of the supervillains yet. We still have them, so that's what you'd want to see. Marvel supervillains. Or Joaquin Phoenix or Ewan McGregor. I don't know about Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor's not scary. I've seen him in movies where he tries to be, but he's not. Joaquin Phoenix, though, yes. I think Joaquin Phoenix could have done something interesting, but I don't know. I feel like the more I think about it, Cillian Murphy does sound like a good choice, but Robert Downey Jr. is just so safe, and I can't separate him from Iron Man at all in any movie, but especially in the MCU. And people are wondering, are they going to basically do it, like say he's a variant, or are they going to try to do something else? And I think it's obvious he's going to be a variant. If they're really sticking to the whole multiverse saga, which is essentially what Secret Wars is, then that means that he has to be a variant. Adam Grunther has done a $2 super chat saying, how would you rank the Deadpool villains? Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way, Adam. How would I rank the Deadpool villains? I would say 2, Deadpool 2, Deadpool 1, and then Deadpool 3. Well, that's not entirely true. Deadpool 2, Deadpool 3, then Deadpool 1. But the villain in Deadpool 3, I feel like, had the least to do out of all the movies, to be honest. So, yeah. I feel like you could have replaced her with a big machine that was going to self-destruct or something, and that would have sufficed. You didn't need her to kind of like say, oh, what, she's going to try to destroy the world. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean, but I'm trying not to give spoilers away. But yeah. Now, what do you guys think they're going to do with Iron Man? Do you think they're going to try and do a multiverse story where they say that he was good, but then he kind of got panicked about trying to save the world, like how he did in Avengers Age of Ultron when he wanted to put a suit of armor around the world? Do you think they're going to try to say that he started out like that, but then he turned evil? He kind of like drove himself to madness? Because the whole thing about Doctor Doom is that he wants to destroy the world, and if I remember correctly, that's why in some of the comics, and I've not read these comics, but this is from what I've heard, in the comics, even Magneto, he wants to get rid of the humans, but he has no problem with the mutants. He wants the mutants to be safe. But Doctor Doom wants to destroy everyone, so Magneto has to actually team up to stop Doctor Doom. That is what I think would have been cool if they had like a version of Magneto in. But yeah, I just don't know how this variant of Iron Man can go so evil to the point that he is as evil as Doctor Doom. I really hope they don't try to make him sympathetic. Just because he's Robert Downey Jr., I hope they don't try to make him a sympathetic character. Because Doctor Doom is meant to be pure evil. He's meant to be pure evil, and he's not meant to be a sympathetic villain, so I hope Marvel does not go the sympathetic villain route. Sorry, Adam Grunt, that wants to rule the world. Sorry, I didn't mean destroy the world, rule the world. I don't know why. There just seems like there's so much crossover there. By the way, if in the new video I say he wants to destroy the world, I apologize. I mean rule the world. To me, destroy the world, rule the world, I don't know. They've just grained themselves in my mind to where they just seem like the same thing to me. Because there are villains out there that want to rule the world, but they want to destroy so much of it first. So, you know. Jess says, Eric, I don't want his Doctor Doom to be more lighthearted and don't crack any jokes. Yeah. Basically, the sympathetic side of the villain that they gave to Thanos, they can't lean into that with Doctor Doom. He needs to be next level. He needs to be just maniacal. You need to really be scared of him. I Hate Anime's got a very good question. Have you lost some faith in the Russo brothers after Extraction 2? Well, one of the Russo brothers wrote that, and I thought it was a terrible script. The action was cool, but the script was terrible. And I think the Russos, they have not done good movies outside of their Avengers films. Which is why I think it's best that they come back to Marvel, because for some reason they really shined there. So, Connor, it's okay. It's good that you're here now. So I really hope that they get back to being on the great track they were on when they're in the MCU, because when they're outside of the MCU, their movies have just not been good. It's shocking how below par their movies have been. Adam Grunther says, I don't think you'll get a light-hearted Doom with the Russo brothers. I'll say that at least. I don't think we will either. I'm very happy about that. But it's just them being in the MCU. I want them to get out of the MCU, meaning I don't want any of that MCU tone. That's one thing Deadpool and Wolverine made me want. I was like, it just proved I'm not tired of superhero comedies. I'm tired of the MCU's comedies. Because their humor is not funny. People are really hating and turning on it now, and they're really complaining about it. But Marvel still seem to love their dumb jokes. So I don't know what to say. Marvel really are just like, it's like they're mad that fans want something else, that fans don't want what Marvel wants. So Marvel are like, yeah, I don't care. We're just gonna do what we want anyway. Adam Grunther, no, it won't contain spoilers, my review, but I will be talking about scenes without giving any of them away. So if you've seen the movie, you'll know which scenes I'm talking about. But yes, I was greatly disappointed with this announcement. Not because Robert Downey Jr. is a bad actor. If anything, we have seen him do a phenomenal job in Oppenheimer, which really shows a different side to him. But to see him play Doctor Doom, such an iconic villain, and he's such an iconic hero, it just seems like you can't separate the two no matter how hard you try. And I think that's ultimately going to be too distracting. The only thing I can think of is if they say, you know what, it's distracting for you viewers, but it's also distracting for the heroes that knew Tony. I feel like that's what they will do. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, you can do that, but at the same time, people still wanted a new face for Doctor Doom, not to have him look like a Tony Stark variant, but where's the actual Doctor Doom? King of the Monsters has done a £1 Streamlabs chat, thank you very much, buddy, says, for me, Robert Downey Jr. won't be recognizable as Iron Man. You won't be seeing Robbie's face. From what I can tell from the comics, only his voice, which will probably be digitally altered as well. It's like how Ryan played Deadpool, but also voiced Juggernaut in Deadpool 2. Well, let's hope so. But, you know what? Here's the other thing. You say that you're not supposed to see his face, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think because they're paying big bucks for Robert Downey Jr., and remember, he's won an Oscar now, so that means he's worth even more. I think that they're going to do that thing where they take his mask off a lot so you can see his face. Because Marvel are like, we paid for him, we're going to use his face. And also, Robert Downey Jr. is kind of that actor where I feel like he has kind of gotten a bit lazy in the MCU. As they were doing special effects and replacing Iron Man with a special effect, at the beginning he was always in like the practical effects suit of Iron Man at the very beginning, in the first several movies. But then as it went along, once his face was covered, he was just replaced with a CG double, basically. And I feel like if his face is covered most of the time as Doctor Doom, I wonder if Robert Downey Jr. most of the time will even be on set. Or if they'll have a stunt double there and Robert Downey Jr. will just record his voice. Because once he's got that mask on, just like Iron Man, will he say, that's it, I'm off the set, good luck to all of you? That would be ridiculous if they did something like that. I feel like he really should be on set. See, Source Fierce agrees with me. He says, yeah, they're definitely going to show his face a lot. Yep, I think they're going to as well, and that is disappointing because Doctor Doom doesn't show his face. Adam Grunther says, Doom's face is scarred, but he gains his looks back in Secret Wars. I think that's when we'll see him as Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, but the thing is, even if he gains his looks back, I still want him to wear that mask, because that mask is what Doctor Doom is really identified by. So he can take it off sometimes then if he regains his looks, but I don't want to just see Robert Downey Jr.'s face there most of the time. But you know they're going to want to try to advertise the movie with him, so they're going to want to have to take that mask off as much as they can. Sonic, I think that was a weird announcement. I think the less we say about that, the better. We just got to wait and see what it is when it comes out, because that is such a weird thing that they did. Selena says, have you heard that the MCU Fantastic Four are going to be in Avengers 5 and 6? I have heard that, and I also wouldn't be surprised if there'll be a credit scene of Doctor Doom at the end of the Fantastic Four movie, and that will hint at him being, you know, obviously in the next Avengers film. What's also interesting is, aside from Fantastic Four, I don't think there are any movies that build up to Doctor Doom. Do you know how with Thanos we had so many appearances? At the beginning, in the first Avengers, when he showed up in the credits, people were excited, like, ooh, who is this villain? Oh, it's Thanos. Who's Thanos? But then as it went on, he's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And he had that glove. People started to get sick and tired of him, which is amazing how the Russo brothers managed to come in and craft a version of Thanos that was so interesting in Infinity War. I think they failed in Endgame, but in Infinity War, he was actually a very good character. And I think it's really, really cool that they managed to do that. But with Doctor Doom, it would be interesting that we're going to get just a few random MCU projects now over the next couple years, and then we'll have Doctor Doom show up in Avengers Doomsday. So, yeah, that's such a interesting thing, isn't it? The big, big bad for the next two Avengers movies is going to be introduced in an Avengers movie. He's not going to be introduced in any other flick. He'll be introduced, of course, in a credit scene, maybe, on Fantastic Four, but yeah, it's interesting that they're not giving him as much build-up, but I think maybe that will be a good thing. But it does show they did not plan this to go down this way, because clearly Kang was meant to be the one they were teasing and hinting at until his two Avengers films, but now they've just gotten rid of him, or at least the Russo brothers have gotten rid of him, or at least Disney higher-ups have gotten rid of him, because I think Kevin Feige still would have wanted to keep him. Adam says, well, we're definitely not going to have much build-up because they were riding on Kang to be their villain. Exactly, that's what I was saying. It seems like they've changed course, and you can tell they've, like, very abruptly stopped their journey and changed course. It's very obvious with that. Adam also says, I saw the leaked Fantastic Four trailer. It surprisingly looks very stylized and different. Yeah, from what I've heard, it also sounds very goofy. Like they're going to have Reed Richards be on TV like Bill Nye the Science Guy, which I think is playing it too goofy. I know it's not meant to be dark, it's meant to be more light, but that sounds cartoony. Depends on the execution, but that does sound very cartoony. Someone sent me a Streamlabs chat. Let me take a look. But yeah, I haven't seen that though, so I actually need to see that, Adam Grunther. Oh, look at that. I got a £7.77 donation from Iron Warrior. It says, hey Eric, have you heard that Inside Out 2 made the most money out of the animation movies? Yes, I have. 2, which movie will perform the best at the box office? Which movie will perform the best box office with Joker 2 or Venom 3? I think Joker 2. And since they were releasing close together, have you watched The Boys Season 4 yet? I haven't seen The Boys Season 4 yet because I've been so busy. Maybe tomorrow I can try getting into watching it because I want to try taking a day off tomorrow. So yeah, but I've also been continuing playing Guardians of the Galaxy on my Steam Deck recently because there was a chapter 13, I think. It just crashed on the Steam Deck, and I've just recently found a fix. Otherwise, I was going to delete it. So yeah, I want to continue playing that too. But yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to try taking a day off tomorrow. Oh, was that Ben Grimm, Adam Grunther, that had that happen? Yeah, that does. But what do you guys think? Do you think that sounds goofy for Ben Grimm to be having like a Bill Nye the Science Guy TV show? That sounds very weird to me. Darksaber says it's best to just forget about Kang after Loki Season 2's ending. I haven't even seen Loki Season 2. Dragonflame Film says, I'm getting Vecna vibes from this, which is from a villain from Stranger Things Season 4. How he showed up out of nowhere near the end of the franchise and is being set up as the final villain. Yeah, that is very much like Vecna, isn't it? Although at least Vecna was played by a different actor. So at least you had that going for it, where you're like, wow, this different actor is doing a great job. But Robert Downey Jr., it's like, I don't like, where is it? No, that's not it. There you go. I don't like this choice that they've done. So yeah, I don't think. Action Studio says, hey Eric, what do you think of Deadpool 3 opening credits? I loved it. It would have pissed me off because he does something which is very disrespectful. But it also almost feels like if anyone would do that, only Deadpool could. So, yeah. Adam Grunther says it fits with Ben Grimm, to be honest, given how he turns into a monster later. But what do you want to bet? Do you know, Adam Grunther? I'm gonna call this out right now. I'm gonna throw a bet out there. What do you want to bet at the beginning of the movie? That's what he's doing when we see him as human. But what do you want to bet by the end of the movie when he's accepted and all that? What do you want to bet? He then does it again, but as the Thing, he still continues to run that show, and that'll be like a quick gag at the end of it. I feel like that sounds... It sounds almost like that's destined to happen in this when they do it. So that's what I think is going to happen. Batman's Gamers talks about Creature Commandos and Joker 2 trailers. Creature Commandos was a okay trailer. We need to see more of it, but seriously, how many teams is James Gunn going to be working on? So many. Oh man, I really need to get more water. I'm already out. Adam Grunther says, what are your thoughts on The Boys getting a prequel show about Stormfront and Soldier Boy? I think it sounds cool. I think it sounds really cool because I like all these spin-offs they do. Gen Z, at first, I wasn't liking it. It seemed like the writing was much cheaper. But the show got better with each and every single episode, especially the ending of that first episode, which was really just made you want to see more. So I think it's cool. I also like Soldier Boy a lot. I think, who was the other? Stormfront, was it? That is a weird character to delve into. She was cool, but I don't know if I want to know about her origin. But Soldier Boy, give me as much Soldier Boy as they want. He's such a great character. So yeah, thank you Adam Grunther for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. And yes, I am looking forward to that. Let's see. Adam Grunther says 100% gonna happen. So let's just say I call it now. That's gonna happen at the end of Fantastic Four. That Ben Grimm will get on his science show as the Thing, and it just in my head sounds so goofy. And I bet you Marvel will do it that way. Will make it goofy. Also, I'll say this. Deadpool and Wolverine was so comics accurate to the point that they paid attention to the tiniest detail for fans. And that really makes me pissed off even more that they gender swapped the Silver Surfer in why am I blanking on the name? That they gender swapped the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four. Seriously. Like I said, I'm sorry guys, like I said, it's been a very long day. I've been working non-stop on 2 videos and then had to quickly set this up, and it's boiling hot in this room all day too. Yeah, for them to do that, oh, I just don't like that. I don't like that they've done that. Ooh. It just goes to show how Kevin Feige doesn't care about the details, because all those writers, like the last 10 MCU projects or more in Phase 4 and 5, someone actually said, like I said, someone actually took a montage of all those interviews where the writers were told, when I came on board, I was told, do not read the comics. Even the person who did Secret Invasion I was told not to look at the comics, which is ridiculous. So compare that to what Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman did, where they paid intense detail to the comics. It just makes Marvel look like crap right now, and seeing what they did with the Silver Surfer, it just goes to show even more that it's like they're deliberately trying not to please the fans here. So I'm glad the Russo brothers are back, because Kevin Feige is out of freaking control. Connor the Gamer says, I hope Doctor Doom won't be a Kang. And yeah, I certainly hope so. I wasn't thinking that before, but I hope so now. I hope Doctor Doom won't be a Kang, and I'm also hoping that the MCU decides to bring the Russo brothers as the new directors for the new movies. I heard a rumor recently that the Russo brothers are going to be monitoring every movie leading up to Avengers Secret Wars. I don't know if that's true or not, especially because these movies have already been put in production. But damn, would that be cool. But I wish, again, they would have hired them sooner rather than taking so long. Adam Grundler says, fun fact, Matthew McConaughey has a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. Is he in a mask or something? Because I don't remember seeing him at all. Hello, Timothy. Great to see you here. Jolie the Nighthawk says, did you like Deadpool Wolverine as much as the other two? Stay tuned for my review. I have so much more of your questions I answer, and I go into more detail as to what I thought about that film. But yes, I did like it. But how much did I like it? And did I like it as much as the first two? And did I like it as much as Logan? Watch the review to find out. Gregory says, I'm in Europe right now, and I finally see how late you do these videos. I knew we were in different time zones, but I didn't know how late it was when you did it. Yeah, because you guys, a lot of you are from America, I have to kind of keep that into account. So I gotta do these live streams later. Adam, you really do know me, don't you, after all these years? You go, well, I feel like the answer to the second question is obvious, lol. It is. I'll let you know that. It is obvious what I think about that one. The more realistic comparison is Deadpool 1 and 2. So, yeah. Although I will say one thing. I do say this in the review as well, but I'll say it now. Early reviews were saying that Hugh Jackman gave his best performance as Wolverine in this movie. And when I heard that, I was like, no, there is no way at all that Hugh Jackman gave a better performance in this comedy movie than he did in that heavy drama movie in Logan. I was like, it must be an over-exaggeration from people that just watched the movie and are so hyped. And then when I watched the movie, it turns out I was right. They were so hyped, they just pulled that out of their arse. Seriously, it's such an exaggeration, it's not even funny. I'm just going to straight out say they're wrong. Because Hugh Jackman's performance in Logan was so great, just seeing him on screen, you saw the pain, the hurt, the suffering. You felt sad just looking at him in there. Whereas in this movie, this Wolverine had a sad backstory, and you even see in the trailer he looks upset, but it didn't touch me at all like Logan did in terms of the emotional element, where I just got so upset looking at them in Logan. Also, because this is not our Wolverine, it's an alternate dimension Wolverine, you don't feel as bad when he's sad. You feel bad for him, like, yeah, dude, that sucks, but you're not the Wolverine we grew up with, so I care, but I don't care that much. There's no attachment to you in that way, except for Hugh Jackman playing you. Gregory says, I'm tired and feel bad for you. Yeah, I'm tired too. Just so you know, Gregory, I'm still working on the Puss in Boots Versus video. That is, like I said, that's the next Versus video, so I'm still working on that, and I'm getting closer, so I haven't started editing it yet, but yeah. Adam Grundler says, I still think he was fantastic, but obviously not Logan quality. I know, but quite a few people were actually saying that. This is Hugh Jackman's best performance. I'm like, it's a great performance, don't get me wrong, but on that level of Logan? No, not at all. Adam Grunther, I don't know if I can say my favourite cameo because a couple people have not seen the movie and I don't want to give any spoilers. My favourite cameo... My favourite cameo is the one that was given in trailer 3, but I really wish she did more because I feel like they could have really gotten more development out of that. If you want to say what my other favourite cameo is... It was probably the first cameo they did. Not at the very beginning of the movie, but when they were in that desert place. And you think it's one character, then it's another. That one. That was so good. It's like I heard rumors of that character, but when I was watching the movie, I completely forgot. They really threw me. They really did. No, I didn't know Matthew McConaughey was in the movie, but one of you said that he was in the lineup shot. Which shot was that? Yeah, Adam Grunt, I'm looking at one of your earlier comments about Secret Invasion comic already sucked. I haven't read it, so I don't know, but I was told about what the plot was, and the idea that you didn't know which superhero was had been a Skrull for so long is such a good idea. The fact they didn't take advantage of that is insulting and very bad. In fact, they said Rhodey was a Skrull was so stupid. So stupid. Oh, by the way, for the Fantastic Four movie, it's called First Steps, which sounds so silly to me. What's with these lazy names, seriously? It's just so weird. Just call it Fantastic Four, no one's gonna have a problem with that. Why'd you have to give it such a lame subtitle? First Steps. It'll make sense when you see the movie. I mean, we already know what First Steps means. Even if it means something a little bit more, it doesn't mean you put that in the title. So yeah, what does everyone else think about Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Wolverine? Then we'll talk about the Thunderbolts, and something I really want to bring up about that crappy announcement. Adam Grunther says bad choice. I agree. Batman's Gamer says bad call. The Dark Lord says I got nothing. Sonic says Avengers. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Don't worry about that, Rohan. I'll look forward to seeing you on the stream properly next time. Sonic says, Captain Eric, can you do a video of you raging for 10 minutes? Well, I have that. I was working on a video today about Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Doctor Doom, and I go more in depth there, and my thoughts are more coherent, and I was less tired when I was doing it, so I'd recommend you watch that. I'm going to upload that very soon, so yes, you can watch that, and you'll get all of my thoughts and more thoughts than what I gave in this live stream. Sonic says, do I need to explain what I think about the casting? Unacceptable. JJ Doogie, I don't know how to say. You've got like a bunch of like JJJs and dudes and all that stuff in your name, but says, what's your favorite villain quote? I like I've been at the mercy of men, just following orders, never again, from Magneto. Yeah, that's a great quote. I'm going to give one that actually relates to this situation with Robert Downey Jr., and that is, you either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That is a perfect example of what has happened right here. And technically even Christian Bale went through that, didn't he? And he became a villain, which was not a good choice in Thor: Love and Thunder. Ooh, Adam Grunther says, my favourite cameo in Deadpool Wolverine was a certain character who Deadpool found hard to understand. I know what you're talking about. That was one that I liked, but I was also like, I'll say those cameos on their own were good, but when you zoom out and you just think about them and you say, alright, they got this one, this one, this one, and this one, I thought the lineup wasn't as good as it could have been, to be honest with you. And there was one problem I had with the cameos, but I'll save that for the review. That's it. I won't say no more about my review. You have to wait to see the review. But there was one problem I had with the cameos. How big it was, you have to wait to see the video. If it was a big problem, a little problem, or just a normal problem, you'll have to wait and see. Spirit Hero says, "Hey Eric, do you think that this decision was made by Kevin Feige and the studio, or the Russo brothers?" I think it was made by probably a mix of the two. I think Kevin Feige maybe said Robert Downey Jr. if you're gonna do Doctor Doom, or maybe the Russos did it. I don't know, but Feige did not look as happy with the Russo brothers as he did the previous directors that came that night, and they were for projects that no one wants. No one wants projects like Captain America Brave New World or Thunderbolts, and then some of the other projects they're doing on TV show form. But they do really want what the Russo brothers are doing, just of course not with Robert Downey Jr. And Kevin Feige should be so happy to see them. They are the ones that made the MCU what it is, but he just pats them on the back. He doesn't give them hugs and all that kind of greeting like he did with the other directors. Russo's to Kevin Feige. Batman's Game has done a $5 super chat, and I like what I've just read so far about your super chat, buddy. He says, "Russo's to Kevin Feige. You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me." It's funny that they wrote that line, and that's essentially exactly what Kevin Feige has done. Although Feige is not the one that came to them, it was most likely Disney, someone above Kevin Feige, because you know Feige. Clearly, he didn't want the Russos back. It's why all this time he didn't bring them back. Jess says, "Hey Eric, I think Kevin Feige is behind this. He is pretty much acting so incomplete." I think you mean incompetent. He's pretty much acting so incompetent that he makes David Zaslav look like a great CEO. Well, they're both kind of disasters, but as much as I don't like David Zaslav, good things are starting now to come out of DC at least. And we got a Dune movie that succeeded, and we're going to get another, so stuff is coming out, even though I don't like his ways. Fantastic Four, we are not fantastic. Man, Kevin Feige really hate the Russo brothers so much. Junior, he very unhappy to see them. Yeah, he is very unhappy to see them. Wow, Iron Warrior has done a $15 super chat. Thank you very much for the super chats, guys. You're being very generous here with the super chats, and we are coming to the end of the month, so any super chat would be very helpful, and they are very helpful, so thank you. Iron Warrior says, "I saw the season 2 cutscenes for Suicide Squad game showing that Flash is still alive, showing the dead Justice League members were clones and are still alive. A little late for that reveal when people don't care." Exactly. And it was just such an insult the way they went out. You still should have given them great deaths. If you're making us think that those are the actual Justice League, then the benefit is that you can kill them off and make their deaths so emotional. But they only did that for Wonder Woman because, hey, she's a girl, so great for her. She's the good one. Those are all evil guys. These are very petty feminists they've got writing who are just insecure to the point that giving any guy any credit is just not a good thing to them. It's something that they're threatened by, so they had to have him embarrassingly get killed off, including Batman, where they shit-talked him for killing him. Yeah, it is too late for that reveal now, isn't it? Spirit Hero says, "My dad was a bit heartbroken to hear the news, as Iron Man was his favourite MCU hero." It's like, yeah, but they're not killing that version of Robert Downey Jr., that version of Iron Man, are they? They're not doing that, at the very least. Okay, guys, now, what I'm going to go do is, first of all, we're going to be talking about Thunderbolts. But before I do, I want to rush off and fill up this water bottle. If not, I think I am just going to die of a heat stroke. So I'm going to go fill this up. I'll be right back. You guys stay, because there is something I want to talk about that was so freaking stupid about this announcement. The Captain America Brave New World announcement was just boring, inoffensive, just boring is what it was. The only offensive thing was that they didn't tell Harrison Ford to grow a mustache, which he was perfectly willing to do as Thunderbolt Ross, the iconic mustache. But there was something so freaking insulting, so freaking pathetic about Thunderbolts that it really made me think that the MCU is quite pathetic right now, that they actually thought this would impress people. So stay right there. I'll be back in 2 minutes after I fill this up, okay? So hold on a second. I'll be right back. You don't want to miss what this is. Okay, I'm back. Got the water. Oh. It's kind of hits you like jet lag. When you're downstairs, it's cool, but when you come right up to the attic, you feel that heat hit you. Seriously, jet lag. Give me a few seconds to catch my breath. In the meantime, I'll read a few of your questions before I talk about the stupid thing they did at the Thunderbolts panel. Hi Gwen, great to see you back. Big Bash, great to see you too. Hail the captain. Khan says, the mighty Lord Eric has returned. It's pizza time. Ooh. Do you know what I'm going to do when I'm finished the stream? I'm going to finish watching the Penguin panel at Comic-Con. I love hearing Matt Reeves talk, and he was talking a lot, and he even so much pointed to the that he said, and I'm going to shut up now. In a minute, I'm just going to say this last thing, and I'm going to shut up. And the audience laughed. So, yeah, I can't wait to see that. I was watching some of it as I was setting up this live stream and stuff, but yeah, I'm going to watch more when I'm finished. And then I'm going to take tomorrow off. Hopefully give you a couple of videos, get a couple thumbnails done. Yeah. So, alright. Time to talk about Thunderbolts. Now, the stupid thing about Thunderbolts that kind of pissed me off a little, in terms of just low effort, not giving a shit, it did piss me off. Look at this Thunderbolts logo. This basic Thunderbolts logo. You'll notice it has an asterisk next to it. Now, first of all, Thunderbolts is supposed to be Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad, except as PG-13. And also, poor Sebastian Stan. If you look at the Comic-Con panel, Sebastian Stan looks a little bit beat down. Like, this is not his. It's like he doesn't feel comfortable. And I don't know why, but I've got a sneaky suspicion. I could be wrong, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that they might kill him off in this movie. The reason why I think they're going to kill him off is because the way he talks, either he was tired, either his role was seriously written down, or he was going to die. There was that's one of the three things, but there was something about him there. He didn't seem energized like these actors usually seem. And Sebastian Stan is usually a very upbeat actor, if you've seen him on stage and stuff. Here, he seemed like he had all the fun knocked out of him. So, for some reason, I feel like either that, or he's upset that he's not in command. Because the person that's supposed to be in command of the Thunderbolts... Let me bring up the lineup. I should have the picture here somewhere of them. Here we go. The person that's supposed to be in command of the Thunderbolts is Yelena, right in the center. Now, when the MCU is being accused of being like the MCU, and when the Marvels didn't do well, and Kevin Feige was at the premiere, he was talking about Thunderbolts, and he says that Bucky is going to be the leader. And that was only to combat the whole MCU stuff, which was losing them money. Because originally it was supposed to be Yelena who was the leader. However, I think he's probably changed it, because the person that gets a lot of the questions, I think Feige changed it back again, because the person that was getting a lot of the questions at the Thunderbolt panel, it was not Sebastian Stan, it was actually Florence Pugh. She was getting a lot of the questions geared towards her, like she was the main star of the film. And I said this was always unfair, that how Bucky was essentially a character that has been in the MCU since the first Captain America, so he's been in here pretty much from the very beginning. And after all these years, they still have nothing for his character. He's still a tag-along, essentially. You've got Falcon, who's become Captain America, and you got the actual Captain America, Steve Rogers, who's retired, and with him, it seems like they don't know what to do with him. He should be the leader of the Thunderbolts, but he's not. Yelena is, and Yelena has only been in the MCU for what, about 2 years or something? 3 years? Whereas Bucky has been in Sebastian Stan has been in the MCU for as long as the original Avengers. He's been in here like since 2011 or something, so he's been here for essentially like 15 years at this point. And they're still like making him like just the side character. I think that is very disrespectful, the fact that he's not given a bigger role, but Yelena is, and she's not even paid her dues. She's literally just showed up, but because she's a woman, they're trying to put her on the front. I thought that was very bad how they're treating him, and either he feels that, because on stage, like I said, he doesn't look energetic. He doesn't look like he's got that charm that Sebastian Stan usually has. He just seems drained, and he doesn't seem enthusiastic. He doesn't seem in it like he normally does on stage. And I do really think that something's going to happen. Either he feels it, that he's not being given, like, you know, appreciated as his character, or he's not being given more to do, so it really just feels like a job now. Or he was tired that day, or I think he's going to die. So I think that's what's going on. So yeah, I think that is just pathetic what they're doing. But thing is, I've always had those feelings. It's only just today when I saw him at Comic-Con, I had that vibe. But the thing that really annoyed me was this asterisk. Now, Marvel at the panel made a big frickin' deal about that asterisk. They actually said to Kevin, the director actually said to Kevin Feige, should we tell them? And then Feige was like, no. And then the audience laughs. And he goes, no, you gotta see the movie. And I'm like, how crap has Marvel gotten? Usually they used to be the talk of the town when they used to announce projects like Civil War and stuff. Again, a Russo Brothers project. And other projects. They were the talk of the town. But now they are trying to build up a frickin' asterisk at the end of it. It's like, how pathetic can you get that they were trying to make a big deal out of that? Like, shall we tell them what that means? It's like, who cares what it means? It's just a frickin' asterisk. And for me, I think it probably means that some characters are going to die. Maybe many of them are going to die. But still, it just seems lazy, low effort. It's like, Marvel, what's happened to you? You would think that they would actually be very good when it comes to announcements like this, but they're not. It's like they've lost it. It's like this movie has nothing in it where they can promise or build up or tease. So they're just trying to point to that asterisk and act like that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. I'm like, is it? I mean, if that is such a lame tease, that's what you got to tease. And they've shot the movie at this point, and it doesn't seem like they've been doing as much reshoots with it as these other projects. So I'm hoping it goes well. At the end of the day, we always want good movies. But seriously, that asterisk is what they were trying to build up to? How lazy can you get? Yeah, Caleb, I'm aware they gender swapped Mr. Freeze in the game. That was also ridiculous. So yeah, I think that is pretty pathetic. You had the Captain America Brave New World panel, which was boring. You got the this panel, which I thought was just pathetic. And then you got the Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars panel, which was just confusing. So yeah, it definitely made it better, the Russo Brothers panel. That definitely was better, but it was a double-edged sword. It was good they were coming back, but it was not good that they hired Robert Downey Jr. So I think that this panel overall was just kind of disappointing. It saved itself from being a complete fail when the Russo Brothers showed up, but still, it felt like it was a very disappointing panel, is what I felt. What did you guys think of the panel? I'm hoping apparently Matt Reeves is going to announce some casting for The Batman Part 2, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping he casts Two-Face, that's what I hope. Spirit Hero says, I feel like the asterisk is there because the title might change to something else over time. It could. But even so, they're acting like it's a huge deal. It could be, but the way they teased it, it was crap the way they did it. It's like, seriously, is that all you have? Batman's Gamers, I just watched the Thunderbolts panel. Big Bash says, best Mickey Mouse is South Park's version. Joshman says, are you worried for the Russo brothers directing the next two Avengers movies? I'm not worried. I think they're perfectly capable. I think they use way too much CGI. The movie is supposed to be out in 2 years, but I don't even think they have a script yet. And it's interesting that they says this time next year, Fantastic Four is going to come out in 1 year. And that's surprising because James Gunn's Superman movie is going to come out essentially in 1 year as well. But he's been shooting that for months now. So basically they're going to have a long time in post-production to take care of Superman and to make it in post-production. So they got a good amount of time to spend on the special effects. Meanwhile, you have the MCU. They've not even started on the special effects yet. They've not even started shooting yet. And the movie's coming out in exactly a year. It shows they're rushing it again. Superman is coming out in a year as well, but they've been shooting for the last few months. The movie is apparently only got a couple of weeks of shooting left, and then it's done. So what is Marvel doing? They're rushing their productions again. So I don't know if the CGI is going to look that good in Fantastic Four. Ooh, look at that! I got some Streamlabs chats. Did I get those when I was away? I think I got that when I was away. Give me a second. Oh no, those are the early ones, so I didn't miss any. That's good. Elite, I agree. James Gunn's Superman movie is going to destroy the Fantastic Four movie. Selena says, at least Marvel didn't announce much like the 2022 SDCC panel. Selena, I'll tell you something. I don't think Marvel announced anything. Because Marvel didn't announce anything because we already know they got Brave New World coming. We saw a new trailer recently. We already know Thunderbolts is coming. They've announced that a while ago. And the only thing we did not know was coming was... well, we knew Secret Wars was coming, but we didn't know that it was going to be the Russo brothers, and they've gotten rid of the Kang Dynasty to now do Avengers Doomsday. So those are the only two new bits of information about the Russo brothers, but even that was kind of leaking online. Last week I even brought it up about Robert Downey Jr. being cast as an alternate universe Doctor Doom. And it turns out, I just took that as nothing, but turns out it was true that it got out there. But yeah, they didn't announce anything, I think. The only thing they got to announce now, which they're going to do, I think, at D23, is going to be the Disney Plus shows. And even those shows, I have no faith in them. They just seem like the shows, like, who asked for Agatha All Along, for example? No one did, but they just made it anyway. Batman's Gamer has done a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. Says, Gunn said just a few days left of shooting. Well, there you go. Not even a couple of weeks, just a few days. So they had like a year and a half to make the movie. Marvel, only a year. And they have a lot of effects in their movie as well, Marvel do. They've got, the Silver Surfer to do. They've got the Thing to do. They've got all their power effects to do. Sonic says, anyone want a cookie? Well, Sonic, that's funny you say that because I've got cookies right here. So you keep your emoji cookie. I have actual cookies there. With cream on the inside too. Jess says, hey Eric, if you went to Comic-Con, you would scream at Kevin Feige and tell him this was a mistake and that the universe has gone downhill. You will hate it all over him for his stupid choices. I'd be more respectful. But thing is, if I'm there, I'm not going to have a chance to talk to Kevin Feige. They deliberately don't let you speak to them, so I wouldn't be able to. Sonic says, yeah, I delivered those to you. Maybe sometime in the future when that tech exists, but not now. Plus, I went and got them earlier today, so... The only way people get me cookies or things now is through super chats, and then I use the dough there to get them. One person once said, here, get this. When I said I was going to get something later, they said get this, and they gave me a donation on that, and I was like, alright, then I will. That's how the person got me something. King of the Monster says Marvel got like 12 VFX companies per project, bruh. Yeah, but special effects take time. And we all know Marvel, they love to do their reshoots. So yeah, the VFX artists can be working on those, but then several months into working on them, they'll be told to throw them away, and now you have only 2 weeks to work on this reshoot effect. That's why the effects in their movies were looking so bad several movies ago, and they still don't look that great with their recent movies. Although I would say Deadpool Wolverine CGI looked very good. I think there was only 2 scenes where I was like, that looks like wonky MCU CGI, but the rest of it all looked very good. Ian says it feels like they're just rushing Fantastic Four so they can try to keep up with DC. That would be a fool's errand at this point, because superhero movies they still need to continue to show that they're doing great business. And them trying to cannibalize each other is not a good strategy right now. They need to support each other at this point, at least right now, until superhero movies can get back up to the standard they were at. Batman's Gamer says, why didn't Kevin Feige stop the abuse of the VFX artists sooner? He doesn't care. He's one of the people that actually commissions rewrites. And when it happened, the rewrites, that's when the VFX artists get screwed. Jake has entered the chat, says, I'm somewhat late. What did you think of Deadpool vs. Wolverine? It seems like you saw it. Jake, thank you for dropping by. My review for Deadpool and Wolverine is going to come very soon. I finished editing it today. I'm not going to give my thoughts on it in the stream, but I did say I did like it. That's what I said. But if you don't know my detailed thoughts, stay tuned for my review, which will come out. And yeah, but ultimately here I was talking about Robert Downey Jr. cast as Doctor Doom and what I think of it. And that's what I was essentially talking about here. Whew, but yeah, there was a lot I had to say. Oh, you haven't seen it as of yet, Jake? Well, don't worry, I didn't give any spoilers, and my review hasn't got spoilers either. Except if whatever you saw in the 3rd trailer you consider a spoiler. That's what I've got in there. Ian says, what do you think about Kevin Feige getting a star on the Hollywood floor? If he got a star, he should have got it years ago, like after Infinity War and Endgame. Or specifically after Endgame, but to get it now, after so many flops and failures, it's embarrassing. And Deadpool and Wolverine was not his success, it was Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's. Because you look at all these other projects and you see that Kevin Feige did not do a good job with Deadpool and Wolverine. That was clearly a Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman effort. Because Kevin Feige is going around doing gender swaps of the Silver Surfer, so he's not giving the fans what they want, like what Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds did. It's like he's actively going against what the fans want. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before he gets phased out. If the Russo brothers kick his ass when they make the next 2 Avengers movies, I think Bob Iger should do the right thing and say, yeah, Feige, you're out, the Russo brothers, you're in, because Feige screwed up with Phase 4 and 5. You two can come in and tell much better stories. Big Bash says, Eric, can I buy you DVDs of all 9 seasons of LMP? I think you'd like it. What's MLP? Deadpool 4, Fight the Feige. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Jake says... oh, excuse me. Jake says, I don't care much for the MCU or Marvel in general these days, to be honest. I'm just out of it. I know the feeling, Jake. I really do. I feel you, buddy. Jake says, my opinion. Feel free to disagree. You know what, Jake? In my review for Deadpool Wolverine, there is one thing that I'm actually done with as well. So, stay tuned. You might relate to my review. Which is a spoiler-free review, by the way. Except for, like I said, there is one thing shown in Trailer 3. And if you've not seen Trailer 3, then don't watch Trailer 3. But if you have seen Trailer 3, my review won't spoil anything. Caleb says, which children are you going to adapt? Dick Grayson or Ryan from The Boys? I'd say Dick Grayson. Adopt, is that what you mean? Which children are you going to adopt? Dick Grayson. Because from what I've seen, Ryan looks like a little shit. But then again, I've not seen season 4. Oh, My Little Pony. Big Bash, you want me to watch My Little Pony? Sonic says, Captain Eric, can I donate you to buy a My Little Pony plushie? First of all, why would you call me Captain Eric, something very dignified and manly, and then proceed to offer me money to buy a My Little Pony plushie? Do you two know me? Big Bash and Sonic. I hope you're pulling my leg. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. If you want to get me anything, it has to be something manly, like a statue, like those little desk statues of Deadpool and Wolverine or Batman. That's the manly kind of decoration. Could you imagine if I had, instead of a background of games, could you imagine if I had a background of My Little Ponies there? No way. Yeah, Jake, I think we talked about that. They are very laid back. Deadpool and Wolverine here is 15, just like the previous two, so you have to be 15 or up to watch it. You can't be younger than that. Yeah, when I went on Thursday morning. I think it was a 10:30 showing. And there was a lot of people there. There were gaps in the seats, but there was still a lot of people there. And there was one joke Deadpool made that was very personal about Hugh Jackman. And it was so personal, I was surprised that it was even in there. Hugh Jackman had to have signed off on it. He had to. Because I would be surprised if Ryan Reynolds actually did that without consulting him. But yeah. Okay, everyone, I think it's fair to say we're in the Q&A. Sonic says, I'll buy you 95 PS5s. Why are you trying to mess with me? Who was it a couple of weeks ago that was saying they were going to donate me? Was it $4,000 or something? Or then 1,000 or something? And then they says, no, we mean it. And then it never happened. Good night, Fireboy. Thanks very much for coming down. Oh, Jake says, with the exception of Once Upon a Deadpool, it's PG. PG is still quite high. Do you know what's funny? Once Upon a Deadpool for us, I think it was still rated 15. It's still rated R, so it didn't help, if I remember correctly. Which is funny, it's like at that point, why bother watching it? Because it didn't do anything to the rating, it kept it the same. I know, Batman's Gamer, we talked about it earlier. And everyone even saw my reaction, and I was like, I did not know that. I don't know why they did that. Favorite Harry Potter character is Harry Potter, classic Brickman. Lupin was always really cool character as well. I liked how calm and serene he usually was, even when he yelled. There was he was in the books. Lupin was known. I've been reading here. I've been reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix recently again. And Lupin was always the more mature of Harry's father and Sirius when they were younger. He was even a school prefect, and Dumbledore assigned him as the school prefect. And he had a feeling that Lupin says that the reason he thinks Dumbledore did that to keep Lupin, because Lupin was the reasonable one, he would basically keep his friends, Harry's dad and Sirius, basically his friends, in check. Because he was a prefect, and yeah, he couldn't control them even when he was a prefect. So that was funny. Snape is my favourite character played Harry, yep. Gwen, what did I do? Matthew, was it you who said that you would donate? Was it $1,000 or $3,000 at first? And then I says, I don't think it's happening. I don't think that's real. That is really going to happen. And then it did. Was it you? When you say it was never going to happen, then it never did. Was that you? Yes, Khan, I've heard that Michael Bay is in talks to produce that skibbity toilet or whatever it was. But yeah, Lupin let them get away with bullying Snape. I haven't come up to that part yet, but they did say to Harry in the flu powder part, when he was talking to them with flu powder, Sirius and Lupin says, yeah, we were stupid back then. Because Harry says, you just said, I'm bored, and then you just fired a jinx at Snape. Ooh, Dratman's Game says, then Snape called Lily a mudblood after she defended him. See, it's been years since I've read the books, so these are all surprises to me again. I'm sure Snape tried to apologize to her afterwards. Yeah, Selena, that's true. The reason they did a spoiler in the third trailer for Deadpool is because that actor wanted to go to the premiere, and the only way they could is if they spoiled it, because they knew if that actor came to the premiere, people would knew that person was in the movie, so... Yeah. Yeah, Matthew, it was you. I was wondering who was it that did that. Well, I'm glad your business is going very well. Congratulations on that. Congratulations very much, buddy. Very well done. Batman's Gamer says, oh, he did try to apologize. But too little too late. Yeah. Matthew, you said, yep, I donated a couple thousands. I've not received that, if that is true. Ted says, would you do a versus video with Deadpool and Wolverine, and the Wolverine? No. Originally, I was thinking of doing Deadpool 1 versus Deadpool 2 versus Deadpool 3, but I think I'm not going to do that now. I don't know. I need to feel this... I have to feel this energy, like I'm like, yes, I want to do a versus of that. Otherwise, I'm doing it just for the sake of doing it. If I'm doing it for the sake of doing it, I just don't feel like my heart's in it, so we'll have to see. But at the very least, I'll do a review. We'll see what happens after. Yeah, Matthew, if you did, I did not receive it. I think there's a moth in here somewhere. It's the attic, so when you open the window to let some air in, you know, you'll get one of those coming in, won't you? Big Bashy says he has, but I have not received that amount, so he has to check what happened. Can Muggle-born say mudblood like the N-word, or am I looking too much into this? It's kind of like a half... It's what they said that it means... I don't think it's as strong as the N-word, but it's meant to be a very bad word, like a racial kind of word, where they say you've got one... you got a Muggle parent and you got a magic parent, something like that. King the Monster says, how about this favourite YouTuber outside of yourself? I watch a variety of videos. I don't know which one's my favourite. There was a channel I used to watch when I was younger called Ashens, and whenever he covers technology, I always love those videos. And yeah, he was one of the early big YouTubers that really got big. And he's a fellow Brit as well. So he's got a very nice voice to listen to. And by the way, I am sure that Matthew is joking when he says he's donated all this amount, because if he did, I would have thanked him in a video. I would have done something like that if he donated that much, but... And he's saying it's a monthly payment, and I've not even received those, so... I don't know, I think Matthew is just trying to pull everyone's leg. The G-Gamer, what would you do if you all of a sudden won $1 million or more? Would you retire or something? I'd still make videos on YouTube. Because, like I said, that's the career path that I would choose to go down, because I really enjoy doing it. Batman's Gamer said it best. It's like a white... in the Harry Potter world, when someone called someone else a mudblood, it's like a white man trying to be superior to any other race. It's the same for a wizard born with magic parents over a muggle born. Don't worry, King of the Monsters, I will cover your posters, but just not yet. Sonic, please don't go there. How much would someone have to pay to see me dance? I don't think that's on the table, buddy. I can't dance. What would I just do? Just prance around like an idiot and have that on the internet forever? I'll probably private this video if that's what I did. Or cut it out. Matthew says, no, I just did. Why hasn't it come yet? I don't know. If it just hasn't. But everyone else has been able to donate perfectly fine. I always get the email instantly, so... The Dark Lord, I don't mean that. I mean once the video's been published, when we finish the live stream, then I would private the video, if that was actually in there. Well, Matthew, if it did, I actually would have credited you for it. I would have actually thanked you. Yeah. Wow, Trevor Bishop says, imagine Eric doing the Pennywise dance. Okay, that I might be able to do. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it, though. So... That's one thing that the Russos can do, by the way, is they can have, basically, Big Bash, I say I don't want to sing or dance in front of anyone. But if you want to put a price on it, I'd say $1,000 on Streamlabs. But no one's going to do that, so that's why I deliberately made up that sum. So anyway... I'm not gonna dance or sing on here. King of the Monsters, exactly. Matthew is pulling our leg here. I'll tell you who isn't pulling our leg here. It's Jake. Jake, as always, like I say, his kindness knows no bounds. And look at that. Jake, thank you very much. I don't know what to say. You keep doing this, and... I never stop appreciating it, buddy. Really, I don't. So, thank you very, very much. If I actually could, I would actually give you a hug right now. Thank you. You are very helpful every time you do these large donations. So, thank you very much. Let's see. Jake has done... I have to write this down. Jake has done a 70 Canadian dollar donation. Thank you very much, Jake. Matthew says, no, I swear, 6,000 just went out of my account. How about you just start with $50, for example, and see if that goes in instead of doing these big ones? Because you keep saying that, but I don't see any of it. So I think you are pulling my leg, buddy. There's nothing wrong with pulling a leg, but if you keep doing it, you know, it's not sporting to keep doing it. Anyway, Jake says... Saw Inside Out 2 recently. Great film. Not as good as the first one, though. Anyways, you know I feel like... yeah, I've talked about, by the way... I've talked about Inside Out 1, Inside Out 2, and Inside Out 1 in my Versus video. And I did not think the second movie was as good as the first either. Jake says, anyways, you know I feel like we've failed as a species since we're making a skibbity-bop toilet movie directed by Michael frickin' Bay. At least Annoying Orange never had a film. Is that what Skibbity Bop is? Is it a YouTube thing? Because I thought it was some old TV program thing. But if you're comparing it to Annoying Orange, it means it must be some kind of YouTube thing. Some old YouTube show. In which case, if it is, damn Michael Bay, you really have gotten worse. Manola says, my friend once thought you sang in the Pinocchio Versus video. Seriously? Which part of the video did they think I sang in? Wow, so that's what he's directing. King of the Monster says, yes, it's a YouTube thing. Wow. I didn't think Michael Bay would stoop that low. That is shocking that he would do that. It has like 10 million views. How old is it? Because that annoying orange is going back to like the days of Fred when he was #1 on YouTube. Give me a second. I found that annoying moth. Let me just stop it from... Mission accomplished. I picked up that moth. Can stop flying around in here now. If you saw me looking up occasionally, it's because I was trying to look for it. Now, let's see. What were you guys saying? 10 million views. Parker says, even the devil is cringing at Hollywood's bankrupt ideas. Big Bash says, how much of a donation will it take for you to star in Venom 3 and make it your #1 favorite film of all time? Guys. Oh. The amount of times you guys ask these strange questions, they keep getting stranger. There was a point where it was funny, now it's just weird. Oh. I'll just say there is no money that would do that. Matthew, how about you put in that $50 in the Streamlabs chat? Try that and let's see what happens if you really mean it. But, buddy, if you're just trying to mess around, you can drop the act now. You don't have to keep doing this. Manola says she thought you sang in the part where you introduced the second villain for the remake. Huh. That's interesting. I never... Did I say it in a way that sounded rhythmic or something? That's weird. Batman's Gamer Michael Bay is making a skibbity toilet thing movie or something, which is based off of a video on YouTube, which is kind of like The Annoying Orange. That's what Michael Bay has done, which is like a whole new low. He goes from adapting Transformers and things to adapting that. That's such a weird thing. Jake says, yeah, it is made with a model from a video game, meaning copyright could potentially affect the film. Which film are we talking about? Oh, the Skippity Bop Michael Bay movie. That was it. The G Gamer says, M. Night Shyamalan, Last Airbender versus Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That doesn't sound like a fun versus video, I don't think. Let's see. Jake says, I used to like The Annoying Orange when I was 10 to 11. I'm embarrassed to admit it. What the F was I thinking? We all have that thing at the beginning that we used to like. There's some stuff when we're younger, we still like it when we're older. But, yeah, some stuff we just realize how stupid it was. We were too young to notice otherwise. Huey Toonmore says, people think the reason Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Dr. Doom was so that Ironheart would be the one to kill him. Seriously? That would be so lame. Parker says, Riri Williams, I don't want to be in Avengers 5-6. I don't want Riri Williams to be in any of this anyway. She was the weakest part of Black Panther 2. I think if she was taken out of it, the movie actually would have been better. Jordan Smith says, hot take, Lord of the Rings is overrated. Kind of a hot take, yeah. Jake says, yeah, the model, the face, is from a game, like Half-Life 2, I think. That just makes it worse, in my opinion. Yeah, that sounds like a weird copyright thing they'll have to maneuver around. Batman's Gamer's got a good question. Yo, Eric, have you seen the new DC Studios logo? Yes, I have. And the DC Studios logo It actually looks... It looks like the classic old DC Studios logo. I feel like a lot of people will not know, unless they're older, they will not recognize that logo, but I recognize it from way back. So yeah, he really is trying to... James Gunn really is trying to go back to the classics in this regard. Let's see. I got a £1 Streamlabs super chat from... Where are you? I got a £1 super chat from King of the Monsters 2021, who donated me that £1. Thank you very much, buddy. And he just sent me a picture of the Skibbity toilet video. 191 million views, 4.1 million likes. 2023 in February 8. Wow, that's relatively recent, and they're adapting that. That is insane. Oh, good for them. Such a weird thing. I bet even the person that made that must be confused that they're adapting, you know, that into a movie, and that Michael Bay wanted to do it. It's such a weird thing, seriously. Now, let's see. I'm going to show some posters that Jake has done, then I'll continue answering questions. Where was it? A lot of folders when you have all these videos that I'm working on. Okay. Jake, not Jake. Hold on a second. Let me just load these up. King of the Monster 2021, thank you very much for listening to what I said and making the resolution of these posters smaller, because they were so freaking large before. Okay, you're not going to be seeing me for a quick second. Actually, you could. Let me get rid of this one first. Alright, here's two... Sorry, Jake, I said King of the Monsters 2021. Where is it gone? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so you can see the two posters here that Jake has done. These actually look really good. Batman vs. Godzilla is the theme of the day, and look at both of these. How he's put Arkham Knight in there, which is essentially supposed to be giving you the idea that he's being played by Ben Affleck. So, yeah, that's pretty cool, that is. And then he's got one more, and I'll delete these two so you can see it. There you go. Here's another one he's done with Arkham Knight. And believe it or not, he's got a second wave of images as well. He's got two... There we go. King Kong versus Planet of the Apes. So you can see Caesar there, Maurice, and you can see, I think that's Caesar's wife and son. And you got King Kong at the back over there. So, yeah. Jake, I'm not giving you the credit for this. I said Godzilla King of the Monsters 2021. And interestingly, Godzilla King of the Monsters is also given a synopsis as well. I don't want to read all of this, but let's see. Let's just... Actually, it's alright. 6 months after Koba waged a war between apes and humans, Caesar tries to get him and the apes off California by crossing the Pacific via boat, which ends horribly as a storm knocks their boat around and strands them on an uncharted island. Caesar and the apes must repair the boat to get off the island as soon as possible, whilst also fighting off abnormal wildlife on the island, as well as encountering and befriending the island's most powerful creature, the giant ape King Kong. In the meantime, a militia squadron has tracked them down to the island and is on their way to kill the apes. Well, that's coming up with a story for, you know, these apes and King Kong. I couldn't come up with a story like this, quite random. I do wonder if you put it in AI at all. I wonder if you made this up on your own. I feel like I would like to ask you that. Directed by Adam Wingard, written by Josh Friedman. Interesting. Simon Barrett, who did You're Next, The Guest, and Godzilla x Kong. Is that supposed to be a writer? Oh yeah, 3 writers. Yeah, interesting writers. Yeah, I like the concept you've got going there. And yeah, this is a cool poster as well. Oh, King of the Monsters 2021 says no, never AI. So yeah, that's cool. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Now we're back to normal. So yeah, very good, very well done. King of the Monsters 2021. Yeah, so Khan says, "Oh, I'm definitely timestamping this." Jess says, "Sonic wants some Burger King." Captain Eric, I think we would like to see you make an Avengers story. You can take as long as you like. 4 months, God knows how long. No need. That'll be spending time I don't need to spend when I've got my time to spend on other, more pressing things. Batman's Gamer, yes, they did want AI to replace script writers, but there's no way it can. Jake says, I did use an AI program just for fun a few times, but I wouldn't use it while writing a script or doing some real art. Yeah, I've used it a couple times too. It helps more with other things, like just your regular, like your everyday regular things. Like if you need to send a letter off, that needs to be quite professional and quite just generic. You can just tell it to do it for you rather than you doing it. Oh no, King of the Monsters is like Sonic versus Godzilla, huh? You know what he's gonna do with that. Kidding Cell says, Sup, Eric? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. It's good to see you again on the stream. It's just a shame you've missed all the big stuff we were talking about. God, King of the Monsters 2021 says, out of the 4, what's your favorite? I liked the first one where you see the Arkham Knight Batman in front of Godzilla. That looked cool. Both of them staring at the camera. That was very good. Then in second place is the one where you see Arkham Knight Batman as Godzilla's roaring at him and the bats are above him. And then third place is Ben Affleck in front of Godzilla. Oh, Kidding Cell says, yeah, been busy. I could totally relate, buddy. Eric, make rewrite videos. I think it would work so well. Interesting, I think. Jake says, Superman 2025 hasn't even come out yet. It hasn't, yeah. But they're close to finish shooting it. So then they should have some footage and stuff to show eventually. I think they wouldn't want to show any Superman stuff, at least until Joker is done. Sonic says, Jake, exactly, that's the point. Yeah. Guys, we'll end the stream in 2 minutes, so if there's any more questions or super chats or Streamlabs chats you want to do to get questions to me, now's the time, because we will close out, I say 2, but let's just give it 5 minutes, so you guys can collect any thoughts you have or collect your questions. Gwen says, I have to leave now, and remember, reality is an illusion, the universe is a hologram, bye gold, bye. Yeah, I am still planning on doing a video for the Acolyte, hopefully, once this whole Deadpool Wolverine phase and when the whole phase of talking about Robert Downey Jr. is done. I'm going to then get back to editing and working on the Acolyte video, because I've written it all. I just got to change a couple things in the script, then get back to shooting it, and because I've not shot it yet. So I'm going to have to shoot it and then get to editing it and everything. But tomorrow I'm taking a day off, so it might take a bit. But yeah. I watched The Acolyte just for you guys. Otherwise I wouldn't have. And it was painful to watch that piece of crap. Really it was. Granville David says, when's the How to Train Your Dragon Battle Royale coming out? When I get 100 patrons. Right now a lot of people have done the free thing where they're trying to get updates from whenever I upload Patreon content, but they're not actually patrons. So I've got 55 patron members right now. Once it gets to 100, then I will work on the How to Train Your Dragon video. Either that, or someone can donate to me via Patreon and commission it, and I'll do it that way too. Big Bash has quoted me from my video from 2017 saying, "The Defenders is painfully average." 2017, Eric. Yeah, I did think it was average. Although I think it would be above average when compared to the Marvel shows that are actually average or even worse. Actually, I think it would be like a 7 out of 10 when compared to something like She-Hulk and all that. I would actually up my score from 5 to like 7 or 8. Okay, probably not 8, but 7 in comparison. Big Bash says, "Eric, can you rap in front of us?" No, I can't. You just heard me say I don't sing. I don't like singing. I don't mind singing to myself, but not when other people are around. Especially all of you guys, and when I'm going to have this on the internet forever. So, no. Oh wow, Batman's Gamer. The Defenders is a 10 out of 10 for you. Caleb says, rank the Ghostbusters movies. I haven't seen the old originals in a while, so I don't know. Alright, let's see. I would say Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and then Ghostbusters 2016. Eric, which rocket do you like in the films of 2014, the ape or the raccoon? What do you mean, which rocket do you like in the films of 2014? What other rocket ape is there? Oh, that rocket from Apes. Oh, right. I'll say Rocket from Apes. I like Rocket and Guardians, but there are times where I don't like him as much when they go over the top with the jokes. I really like both characters, though, but Rocket, I think the Apes movies, I like the dynamics they were going for. Sonic says, Captain Eric, if I become a teacher, I'm going to force my students to watch your videos, and they only have one day, and they have to watch all of your videos. Wow. Thing is, the funny thing about that is if there's a test, even I would probably fail it, because I'll probably forget what I said in some of my earlier videos, especially the really old ones. Jake says, what were your thoughts on the Barbie film last year? I'm genuinely curious what you think of it. I've not seen it, so I can't give my thoughts on it. Someone donated to me on Streamlabs, and for some reason Matthew was still not able to. At least he says. Okay, got another £1 donation from King of the Monsters 2021. He says, we're about to end, so final question regarding Batman vs. Godzilla. For this, just say option 1, 2, 3, or 4. No need to read the choices aloud. Okay, buddy, let's see. What link have you sent me? The most. Godzilla breaking free from mind control after Batman destroys the source. That's when the two team up and tear about his lair. Godzilla about to kill Batman on his own accord is ambushed and gets his ass kicked by Roger. Second threat that has been foreshadowed throughout the movie, and now Batman has to help Godzilla kill this guy. Batman looks in defeat upon a burning Gotham as Godzilla roars triumphantly, returns promptly to the ocean. Batman had lost despite all his efforts and preparations, and retreats as Batman looks from the distance. Batman had won because of all his efforts and preparations. I would say the first one, number 1. That's what I would say, buddy. Number 1. Omar says, I just finished watching Batman Begins today. Was it for the first time, or had you seen Batman Begins before? I'd be surprised if you had not seen it. Connor says, what is up, Eric? It's going good, buddy. Just saw Deadpool and Wolverine today, and man, that film is peak. Well, just you wait for my review tomorrow. I'm glad you really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. Kidding Cell says, I'm about to watch it for the first time today. Is it as good as everyone says it is? You talk about Batman Begins. It really is. You'll notice a difference in how Batman Begins presents itself as an origin story versus how movies do it nowadays. Movies now are so quick with their origin stories, but back then, it felt so intimate. It felt like it was an actual character. They actually went through an arc. You'll see Bruce Wayne is very different at the beginning versus what he is at the end. There's a definitive arc. The same with Peter Parker in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man as well. It's funny that I just got a $2 donation on Super Chats, and it's the G Gamer saying, a movie that you regret not watching in theaters. And it's basically the movie I just talked about, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the first one. I really asked my dad over and over again if he could take me to watch it, and he said no, because he thought it wasn't going to be any good. And then we watched it at home on VHS, me and the whole family, and we all loved it. We were mesmerized by it. Even my mum and dad. My mum even says to my dad, that was so good. I can't believe you didn't let me watch that at the cinema. Like, even she was like, how come I didn't watch this in the cinema? And yeah, we all liked, even my dad was like, yeah, that was so good. Like, I was wrong, because my dad thought, back in the day, for most mainstream audiences, they thought Spider-Man was a kid's thing. But when they saw that, they were like, wow, that was so good. It was revolutionary, that movie. You gotta know what it was like at the time to experience that. That was one of the best movies at the time that I saw. That probably was my favorite movie when I was a kid, if you were to ask me back then. My family loved it too. Adam Grunther says, have you seen Cobra Kai Season 6? Not yet, because they're going to release the next chunk of it, the second third of it, or is it the second fourth or whatever it is. They're going to do that in November. So I'm kind of just pissed off with their release strategy. I said, if you watch my Let's Watch on Instagram, on Patreon, I said I hated what they did with the release strategy for Invincible Season 2. In fact, it's what made me stop watching it, because I just didn't feel like I needed to get back into it. I was like, okay, I've just kind of accepted. It's like when a show gets cancelled. You don't have it for several months or whatever. You feel like you can live without seeing what happens next. And that's how I felt with it. And I only just recently got into it. I've got 2 episodes left to see. And yeah, so I don't want that to happen with Cobra Kai. It's such a horrible experience, that. So I want all the episodes to come out, and then I can watch it all at once. That's what I want. Yeah, buddy, Kinder not Josh. It has been a while. And the G Gamer, thank you very much. It says this is your first super on a live stream. Although I swear you've donated before. But thank you very much. I appreciate the donation. Oh, Adam Grunther has done a couple too. I just missed them. Sorry, buddy. Give me a second. Let me write these down, then I'll answer your questions. $2. Adam Grunther says, how would you rank the Bale Batman villains? Okay. Joker, of course. Two-Face. Ra's al Ghul, Bane, and Talia. Oh shit, Scarecrow's in there too. Well, I'll put Scarecrow below Bane, because I liked him, but he was definitely not the main villain in those movies. As great as his performance was and everything. And then Adam Grunther's second question is, better movies, Fox X-Men or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man? Wow, that's a big question. I'd say Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie. Love the first X-Men, but Raimi's first Spider-Man movie really... Back in the day, you gotta have been there, and I'm sure you have, Adam Grunther. I think you've gotta have been there to know what impact it had back then. And it was huge. It was humongous how big the impact was with Spider-Man when that came out. I even remember when me and my family watched X-Men 2 for the first time. Jake, I didn't know it meant most theaters won't show an NC-17 movie. It's just that they won't get studios won't get as much money from it. So they just don't want to release them in that format. Oh, Adam, you meant as a franchise. Oh, right. Okay, as a franchise, the Fox X-Men. Because their franchise goes on for longer than 3 movies. And I love Spider-Man, but man, the X-Men franchise encapsulates so much, as well as the first two X-Men movies. And I still liked X-Men Last Stand, and as well as Days of Future Past. It had First Class, it had Logan, it had Deadpool in there. I think you could even technically call this MCU Deadpool movie a Fox movie. I won't, but you technically could, because it felt like a Fox movie through and through, except for one part of a scene, which I'll discuss in my review. But man, it's like that. Ryan Reynolds, you knew that if he was at Fox, he would have made the same movie, essentially. Adam Grunther says, as a first movie, I do agree Spider-Man is better, but I think the Fox X-Men movies are a better franchise. It took only one movie to shelve the Raimi Spider-Man. That's because they were running out of time and they needed to make a movie before they lost the rights. So I'm sure, but also they were not going to let Sam Raimi have more free control over Spider-Man 4, which is what he wanted, because he wanted to rectify the wrongs of Spider-Man 3. But the studio was still not going to give him control, Sony weren't, and they were still trying to control him and saying, how about this you're going to put this villain in, this villain in. So it just became like an impossible situation because Sony were just stupid. Yeah, Jess, Watchmen is rated 18 in the UK. Yeah, Jess, Erod was not good. I used to watch him. I used to be a patron, and then when I expressed an opinion, he always said be generous and no need to argue on social media. But I expressed an opinion on what I thought about DC, how I thought they were getting better with Joker and stuff, and the Batman coming up. And then, yeah, he says, and he was trying to say the CW was better, when I thought it was just very bad in quality. I was like, I don't think so. I think the DC movies are getting better, and they're morphing into something beautiful at this point. It's very different. And he says, yeah, no. And then apparently he blocked me, just for an opinion. So I logged into another account at the time. I said, I used to be a patron of yours for 2 years, and you did that. And I think I said I would stopped being his patron after that. But yeah, I lost all respect for that Erod Blockbuster Buster at the time when he did that. So yeah, King of the Monsters 2021. Technically, giving, if you can confidently give X-Men 2 an 8 out of 20, that's technically a 4 out of 10. But you say, but then you correct it and you say 8 out of 10. So yes, I know what you mean. I'm just having fun. I liked X-Men 3. I don't know why people hate it. Like, it wasn't great, but compare X-Men 3 to the bad Marvel movies, and people are like, yeah. So there's people actually out there say, yeah, X-Men 3 sucked. It was bad. But Thor: Love and Thunder, She-Hulk, they were okay. I'm like, how can you say those were okay, but X-Men 3 was terrible? Like, we've seen truly terrible MCU movies, and people are like, yeah, whatever, it was alright. I don't understand that whole mentality. Kevin has done a $2 super chat. Thank you very, very much, buddy. Let me write that down. He said, Ang Lee's a good director, except for superheroes. Well, he's not a great director, because there's some good movies he's made, which I've apparently not seen. I need to. But he also made that movie with Will Smith and that clone Will Smith where they tried to do de-aging and it was super expensive. Gemini Man. Something that apparently Smallville made fun of years before it came out. They made fun of the plot because it was so dated. That was not a great movie. I didn't think it was terrible, but it wasn't a great one either. And the effect was weird with how Will Smith, how bad it looked at times. Like, there were times it looked really good, the de-age Will Smith, then there's times where it looked so bad. Like, just stick with the usual de-aging method and just do it right. Because Marvel used to do very good. I think, was it Guardians 2, where they showed Kurt Russell and how he looked younger. They did it very well there. Jacinda, I don't know why, but I have to think about those villains. Moriarty is the best, of course. I also liked Magnuson, and Sherlock's sister was also pretty cool as a villain. Adam Grunther has done a $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy, again, very much. And he says, thoughts on the new DC logo? I actually talked about that earlier. I actually says that I like the logo. It looks a bit too old to me, because I remember that logo. Back in my time, I remember seeing that logo. So when he did it, I remembered it. But I wish it was a little bit more modern. It's too old to me. So I wish he went a few more years into the future in terms of the logo design, just a tad more modern, because it looks a bit too old to me, I think. Like, it's going way back. And I wish it was a bit more new. And yes, I am aware King of the Monsters, that Gemini Man was supposed to come out much earlier than it did. Adam Grant says, have you seen the video they released? Do you mean the video where James Gunn is talking about that logo and saying that why he chose it? And he says that if you recognize it, that means you must be a DC fan. I saw that video, yeah. Oh, I've not seen it in motion, if you mean the logo, the actual logo. I've not seen that. I've just seen the still image logo. Should I take a look? Let's see. Yeah, no problem, Jess. I did get it earlier, but I'll have to read it later. I'm just very busy. That's why we've not continued discussions of that. Josh, man, it's going good with my Puss in Boots versus video. That will be the next versus video. Superman appears in front of it, does he? Let's see. DC logo. Just got my phone right here. Okay, let's see it. Okay, I hate this freaking advert with this. I don't think you could see it. The screen's so bright. This bald guy drinking having Muller freaking like yogurts. He looks like a weird sweaty guy that keeps popping up on my phone. They keep making you watch 20 seconds of that. Okay, let's see it. Let's look at the Superman logo. The DC logo, I mean. Huh. I don't like that logo very much, really. I like all the previous DC logos, like even the one that they did with the DC Extended Universe, how you saw Batman, Superman, Aquaman, and all that. I always loved that logo. Yes, Jacinda, I'm talking about Erod, the Blockbuster Buster, earlier. I don't like the logo very much, to be honest with you. Again, it's too old. They need to modernize it more. I never had a problem with the DC logos. I always thought the DC logos looked good, even with the Dark Knight, you know, the mid-2000s DC logo. Even that was great. This new one, though, no, I don't like it. Maybe it'll have a rhythm to it when you watch it in an actual movie and you see it, but it's too old. Adam says, I think it's going to have one for a different character in each film. Okay, that's cool, but at the same time, I think one logo would be good enough for all of them. Slight changes doesn't matter, but I don't know. I still stand by what I thought, that it's too old. It needs more modernizing. It can still look classy, but it needs more modernizing. It's paying tribute to DC's history. I know, but it's still too old. It needs to be a bit more modern. It's too simple, too old. I thought the previous the previous logos were better, I personally think. Yes, Jake, it was Blockbuster Buster. On Twitter, he blocked me. Even though I was a patron of his for 2 years at the time. Joshua says, hey, Eric, I was asking earlier, do you think Deadpool and Wolverine utilizes the R rating, and do you think it's a step in the right direction for the MCU? Yes or no? Yes, I do think it's a step in the right direction, but the thing is, Marvel did not go about doing that step in the right direction themselves. Ryan Reynolds did, and he's already been a part of 2 Deadpool movies, so he knows, and so does Hugh Jackman. They know how to get a movie done in the Fox way, because they are from the Fox regime, the 20th Century Fox regime. But if you left that to Kevin Feige and his people, they would not have done a movie like that. They would have done so many reshoots, which this movie didn't do. It just had basic reshoots, which was fine. A lot of movies have basic reshoots. But the MCU, they were just crazy with their reshoots. They shoot the whole film again the second time they do, or the whole show again the second time. But, yeah, yeah, I don't think the MCU are in the right track, because if you look at all their upcoming projects, it's the same crap they've been making, the same mediocre crap that no one asked for. So, yeah, they've not learned anything. The Russo brothers coming in, they give us something more what we want, which is finally giving Doom, minus the Robert Downey Jr. casting. They give us what we want too, but Feige is the one not giving us what we want, and I'm sick and tired of his crap, to be honest. He knows how to make himself sound good on stage as like a businessman who's selling you stuff, but in the end, you'd find out he's selling you stuff that you don't even need or want. G-Gamer says, has there been any versus videos where both the movies you comparing can be bad? Well, look at my versus playlist and you'll find some. I think there are videos where both movies are bad, and I've just struggled which one's worse. But I can't think of them right now. To be fair, Jake says, to be fair, I feel like a PG-13 Deadpool could still maybe be funny. Hot take, I guess. It can be funny, but just don't go there. That movie thrives on taking risks. And risks are a good thing. And Deadpool, they've taken good risks. But if you start playing it safe, you've lost everything that makes that character special. And what makes him really funny, and what makes his movie stand out. So, yeah, I don't want to see him in a PG-13 rating movie. He can make jokes about the PG-13 rating and how he has to be on his best behavior. But still, yeah, still, I just don't want to see that. We've had so many safe outings at the MCU that I don't even want to see a safe outing. Someone asked Kevin Feige in an interview if he's thought about taking Deadpool and what it would look like putting him in a PG-13 rating. And I was like, did you have to ask Kevin Feige that? Of course he's been thinking about that. They probably thought about that when they started to own Deadpool, if they would make him PG-13, because they tried to make Daredevil PG-13. They've already done it in a couple of the shows that he's crossed over in. They also were originally going to do it with his own show, until they just scrapped it 9 episodes in and says, okay, let's redo it, and now we'll make it rated R. They're so pathetic down there. Pathetic. But yeah, Deadpool 3, the reason Deadpool and Wolverine was good is because it was not done by the MCU. If it was, it wouldn't have been as good. Exactly, King of the Monsters. It was very much Free Guy. Lost its edge. Wasn't as ballsy. Jess says Blade is going to be cancelled. Probably will. But I don't know. They seem adamant they're going to, but I think it's just been in production hell for so long. Even Mahershala Ali's lawyer said that in all the time they've been in the business, this is very unusual. There's never been this many delays. And it's true. Way too many at this point. They might as well just dump it, I think. Also, it just seems like the MCU, because there was no announcement about further X-Men things in this panel, it just makes you think that they don't know what they want to do with the X-Men. It's like they're scared to do anything with them. So yeah, I don't know what Kevin Feige's doing, wasting time with Thunderbolts and these other characters we don't care about. Just you guys wait when I upload my video where I talk about Robert Downey Jr. being cast. And I talk about those things, and I give proof of those things. Like how Bob Iger told Kevin Feige he can't make Eternals 2, and then I have proof of those images of what the leak said versus what Kevin Feige said. And you'll see it's very true. Okay guys, I know I said about 5 minutes before, but let's just say 7 minutes now, and then it'll be a 2.5 hour stream, and then we can call it a day. So again, any donations or Streamlabs chats or just super chats, whatever it is, if you have a question that you want to reach the top of the pile, that's the way to do it. If not, I'll eventually get to your question. Joshman says, Eric, did you state that Deadpool and Wolverine did utilize the R rating the right way? Yes, I have stated that. They did use it the right way. And it has nothing to do with the MCU, because their first R rating was Echo. And look how that turned out. They don't know how to use the R rating. They don't even know how to properly use the PG-13 rating. They've never pushed a PG-13 rating. Fox have. Warner Brothers have. Heck, even Sony have with some of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies earlier. But the MCU has never pushed the PG-13 rating. So it doesn't surprise me that a studio that doesn't even know how to use the PG-13 rating couldn't even use the R rating. is the budget 300? Is $380 million budget fake? King of the Monsters, because anytime they come up with a big budget like that for Marvel or anything Disney related, I would believe it because it's not out of the realms of possibility. If anything, them going under budget or on budget is unusual. Favorite lightsaber duel? Anakin and Obi-Wan in Episode 3. Oh, have you been, Big Bash, drawing a lot of Ben 10 aliens? That really takes me back, that does. My brothers used to do a lot of Ben 10 alien drawings too. I used to draw the Omnitrix when I was younger as well. Khan says, alrighty then, Eric. I'll make sure the timestamp everything is usual. By the way, Khan, I want to thank you personally for these timestamps. And damn, I forgot to switch back to this. I wanted to thank you for those timestamps. You've been doing an amazing job at doing them. And I've always pinned them every time you've done it. So thank you very much, buddy. You've saved me so many time because some of my live streams, I didn't even timestamp them. So really, thank you very, very much, because it takes, when I'm done a live stream, I'm exhausted, and I don't usually have to go back in to timestamp them, and I'm usually too tired at that point. So thank you for picking up the slack and really doing that for me. I really, really appreciate it, buddy. Ooh. Oh, I love Ben 10,000 Big Bash. That was great. I didn't like him when Ultimate Alien, was it Ultimate Alien that did Ben 10,000? And he was all of a sudden immature and stupid. I didn't like that. Pop Culture Fan says, Eric, did you hear that Blade was trying to go under budget? I did, because it sounds like they don't trust it. And they still haven't announced officially yet if it's going to be rated R. Some producers have said something and some people have said something, but unless Marvel make an official statement saying that it's going to be rated R, doesn't mean anything. Those are all false promises. The same with the new Deadpool Born Again show that they're reshooting. Means nothing until they've announced it publicly themselves. No, Sonic, I've never seen that. It sounds weird. G-Gamer says, I would be surprised if Mahershala left the Blade project. Well, he already kind of has turned his back on it halfway by joining that Jurassic World movie that Scarlett Johansson's going to be in. Because he normally an actor of that caliber has to keep their schedule free for when they want to make a big movie. But the fact he's joined another big movie kind of shows that he's already halfway out the door. Like, he's just saying, yeah, whatever, you guys still have not impressed me. So I still haven't got a good script here, so I'm probably going to just look elsewhere. Because he's running out of time on his Oscar capital, so they've really done a crap job there. Okay, King of the Monsters 2021 has done another £1 super chat. Or Streamlabs chat, rather. And he says, last one. This time of the YouTuber Doomblazer trying to address Brave New World's insanely high budget. This is a YouTube video, though. I can't watch this right now. I'm talking to you guys. Oh, it's a short. I don't know why there's no sound there.
100 million. Apparently, this article says they're set to film 3 major action sequences from May to August 2024. It's crazy, right? So I went to the article that started this rumor, and apparently it's the world of real, and yeah, they are not reliable at all. All those scoops are lies, and this is the same account that said Sam Raimi was in talks for Spider-Man 4, and we know by now that this is not true at all. The Hollywood Reporter, an actual real news outlet, already confirmed this movie has a smaller budget than the Marvels, even though it has reshoots. And those reshoots were already completed a few days ago. The 6 months of reshoots were a lie, this budget's a lie, people want this movie to fail, and they're willing to lie to do it. All because some of them hate the idea of a black man being Captain America. Okay guys, so there's some
interesting. So they're not reliable. I did not know that. World of Real, so I'll keep that in my head that they're not reliable. Adam Grundler says, will you do a versus video of Deadpool 3 and No Way Home? Why do you want me to do out of curiosity, a Deadpool 3 and No Way Home versus? Just curious. Edwin, I don't know. Still, I don't know. Because you're not the only one, Adam, to actually suggest that to me. Someone on Patreon also suggested that I do No Way Home, and I don't really see, aside from the cameos, I don't really see the connection. Thing is, when I do a versus video, I gotta do a versus video with everything. The story, the characters, the villains, the action, and it takes a lot out of me. It would be cool if I could do a versus video on one segment of it, rather than all the segments. The G-Game says a better versus video would be Deadpool 3 versus Guardians 3. Adam Grunther says they're both multiverse movies and are goodbyes to their previous Marvel franchises. I don't think they're goodbyes. I feel like Deadpool Wolverine is, but I feel like Spider-Man is more like saying they're there so we can use them again in the future, and apparently Sony want to use them again. So, Adam Grunther says Deadpool 3 was a swan song for the Fox movies and no home for the previous Spider movies for Holland. Yeah, but Sony really do want to use them again, so we're going to be seeing them again. It's not going to be it. I said I thought that the characters in like 90% of that film, you know, Maguire and Garfield, felt like they were doing SNL sketches. They didn't feel authentic. The cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine, they did feel more authentic in that. Look at that, got another $2 super chat from Kevin. Thank you very much, buddy. He says, design for Hulk in 2003 film looked like Shrek. Did it? I don't think it looked like Shrek. That's interesting, though. Probably how light green he is. I don't know. Jake says, a great versus video would be Madam Web versus Fan Forstick versus Thor Love and Thunder. Jake, I thought you liked me. I thought that was why you donated all that, because you wanted to support me. Now, why is that this? You're trying to depress me. I would have to just imagine watching Madam Web again, Fan Forstick again, and Thor Love and Thunder. What's that? You've said something else. Joke, don't torture yourself, Eric. Thank goodness for that. Ooh, that hurts just to think about. Oh god, here comes the other joke. As Sonic says, Jake, nah. A great versus video would be Madam Web, Thor Love and Thunder versus Fantastic Four versus She-Hulk versus Cars. He had to put Cars in there. He knows that was my personal thing that I did not like. Buddy. Should I even call you Buddy anymore, Sonic? Ooh. Oh god, now Big Bash, not you too. Fan Forstick versus Venom 2 versus Cars. You guys, seriously. Eric, would you try to make a short YouTube videos? I have made some short YouTube videos, but I've spent a lot of time making them on Patreon and things now, so... the 2014 Turtles looks like Shrek, says Jake. Kinda. I'm trying to think. I don't think Shrek. Maybe if they have their bandanas off, maybe? Then they probably would look a bit like it. Maybe that's what I'm trying to think. Maybe that is what it is. Jake, I know you guys are kidding around. But I don't know. You guys do it so many times. It was funny the first few times. It's like what Chandler said in that episode of Friends, if you've seen it, when Joey is prank calling him. And he goes, come on, this has been going on for 6 months now. It's not funny. It's like, for the love of God, leave me alone. It's kind of like that now. Thing is, I know you guys mean it all in good fun, though, so that's okay. You can keep doing it. Just expect me sometimes to be surprised when I find out that running joke is still going with you guys against me. Adam Grunther has done a $5 super chat, and crap, I don't know if I've written it down already or if I haven't. Oh, good, I just wrote it down now, so okay, I got it. Thoughts on Todd Phillips saying Arthur Fleck won't become the criminal mastermind version of Joker? That quote made me laugh because the way he said it, when they asked him that, will he become the Clown Prince of Crime in Gotham, and he goes, oh no, he goes, Arthur is many things, but he's not a criminal mastermind. When I read that, I laughed because the way he said it was like, nah, my boy is too stupid to be a criminal mastermind. Nah, he's just whatever he is. That made me laugh. It felt like he genuinely said, it was talking about his son, saying, nah, my boy's too stupid to be a criminal mastermind. I laughed. It is a shame if you're really trying to hope they bring more of the Jokeriness out of him, But if you are willing to just go with what we've already seen, it kind of does make sense. Excuse me, that sneeze came out of nowhere. Oh. Let's see. Where was I? Yeah, that's kind of what we know about Arthur Fleck. We know he's not a criminal mastermind. It is a shame that he's not going to build himself up there. But the best way to look at these movies is to always look at them as Elseworld stories. Like when you get those crazy Elseworld stories in comics, that's what these are. And that way you're willing to accept it more. But if you're hoping that they will make it more legit, these are not those kind of movies. They're not meant to be as quite legit. So I will say, him saying that though did take some of the hype out of it for me, some of the excitement, because even though you know he's not, you kind of like the mystery that what if he will illustrate more smartness. But just saying straight up no, it did take some of the fun out of it. I will admit that it did take some of the fun out of it, Adam. Oh, King of the Monsters has done another donation, has he? Let's have a look. And then, unless other people start donating and I can't leave, I will be out of here after I think I've done this. So, hey, if any of you guys really want more questions, now is the time to drop them. Because I'm only going to accept Super Chats and Streamlabs chats now, and then I'm going to head out. So if I see those, I won't. Remember that one time where you guys just wouldn't stop doing Streamlabs chats before my proper stream started, and you wouldn't stop at the end, and it's like I was trying to leave and I just couldn't. Memories. Okay then, so £1 super chat from King of the Monsters. To the user Caleb Wright, I'm doing this for you, because you've been asking the same question for 30 minutes, and I feel bad that you haven't gotten noticed yet. Oh man, I'm sorry, Caleb, for not seeing that. And King of the Monsters, that's very nice of you, that is. Very generous of you. So this will be the final one, from the last one to the final one. Zip nada done. Zip nada done. Eric, can you rank the 11 Fast and Furious movies? Caleb. That hurts my brain to think about. You want me to rank 11 movies? Okay, I'll give it a try. Because you've been asking it for 30 minutes. And because King of the Monsters 2021 was generous enough to actually donate to get me to answer that. Alright then, let's give this a shot. Now, I've not seen Fast and Furious 2 or 3 in years, and I can't remember anything about them, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to take them out. But I will say, I did not like Fast and Furious 3 when I was younger, and Fast and Furious 2 I found kind of boring, generic, so I'll just put those two right at the bottom of the pile. Alright then, so let me see, I'll say best to worst, because I feel like it'll be easier for me to keep track of them that way. Okay, so the best movie is the 5th one, then the best one after that is the 7th, then the 6th, then the 8th, then the 4th, and then the first, no actually I'll say first comes before 4, and then 4 comes where I go. Then, okay, let's do that again. See, this is why when you have a lot of movies it's hard to keep track. Okay, so I'll say 5, 7, 6, 1, 4, and then I'll say 8, 9, no, 10, 8, 9, and then 2 and 3. That's 10, I think, so I'm missing one. Which one did I miss? You know what? Let me just write this down. I'll put it in the chat, and you can see it that way, because this is hard to keep track of them. See? When you got that many, how hard it is to keep track of? Ooh, let's see. Matthew, look, I've been nice. You don't have to keep doing this. If you donated, I would have got an email. I would have seen it on my screen right now, but it hasn't come through, so I don't know what you're trying to do here. Everyone else is able to donate, except you. So I just at this point I don't think you're doing it on purpose. If you don't want to donate, you don't have to donate. But don't pretend that you're trying to. Because like I said, I don't expect everyone to donate, only those that can, and I always appreciate it when they do, but you don't have to do whatever this weird game is. It's not hard or rocket science to donate, but if you don't want to donate, that's fine, but you don't have to keep trying to do this thing. I don't want to put... Oh, did I miss Hobbs and Shaw? Oh, so I got them all, except for Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw was crap. I hated it. So, the first half was fine, but it got so boring in the middle, and then the last half I just didn't care about. Okay, so if I just missed Hobbs and Shaw, yeah, I'll put that at the bottom as well. I'll put that below 2, but before 3. Okay, so I've got them all then. Hobbs and Shaw was the only one I missed. Let's see. Who's asking a question about how much it would cost for something? Yeah, The Time Shadow. I like Stranger Things Season 1, 2, and 3. They each got better and better for me. And 4 just dropped all the way down to the point I lost interest. Let's see. Someone was asking a question. Where was it? That's alright, Jess. If you don't want to watch Joker 2, you can watch Venom 3. That's entirely your prerogative. What do you mean, G-Gamer? If someone donated that much to you to do a versus video of that scary, I don't know if that would be good or scary. What are you talking about? Oh, you talking about those movies earlier? Yeah, if someone donated, then I would, because it's a promise then, isn't it? So yeah, then I would do it. No, I've seen the first few episodes of the Harley Quinn show, and I didn't like it, and I stopped watching it. It just wasn't my thing. And I actually found the blood and the swearing gratuitous in that, I did. Okay. So yeah, Matthew, I've said what I've said to you. I'm looking at Big Bash's comments now. King of the Monsters. Hair fell out of my back there. On my head. The G-Gamer said to Sonic. For a quick movie review, $200 in the price. Yeah, that is. Oh man, Sonic says yes. Let's start a riot saying Captain Eric watches Cars 2. I'm gonna probably watch it too to see how bad it is. Yeah, only if you paid me, because there's no reason for me to watch that, and I don't need to. Only if someone commissioned it would I actually watch that. If someone commissioned it, I'd actually rewatch the first one as well, so careful what you wish for on that. No, I don't watch the Olympics or stuff, Jordan, that kind of stuff. So it's just not something I'm really into. Alright guys, it's been 2 hours and 42 minutes on the live stream. Just to round it up, I'll end it at 2 hours 45 minutes, so that'll just be about 2.5 minutes more. Anyone's got any questions in that time they want to put through? I'm surprised that as many of you have stayed as you have, seeing as we've been here for a long time, so thank you for joining the stream, I appreciate it. Yeah, just a few more 2.5 minutes or something. Jake says, who knows, maybe you'll like Cars 2 over the first one. Maybe, but I don't know. People didn't seem like they liked the second one, but then again, they did like the first one, didn't they? And I just don't get it. Let's see, where is... Jake says, not that that's a high bar. True. Oh, Sonic says, dang, 2 hours 42 minutes? I hope that means you didn't feel the length, which is cool. That's a big compliment if so. Let's see. Big Bash, again, if someone donated that much, I actually would watch the Care Bears if that was donated as a commission on Patreon. Let's see. Where is it? One of you, Caleb, I was looking for. Caleb's comment. Because I kept missing it. I'm wondering, how did I miss it? Is Caleb in the chat? I just scroll past Matthew's message again. There's Caleb. What are your favorite Demon Slayer characters? I'm sorry for missing your messages, Caleb. Like I said, that's why I always say super chats or Streamlabs chats, I can then see you. Or if you're a YouTube member, your name is highlighted and I'll always see you. Like I do with my other viewers. But yeah. Favorite Demon Slayer characters? I like the main three. The trio, they're good. Although, the kid in the was it the 4th season of Demon Slayer? Or was it the 3rd? No, season 3. The long-haired kid who was acting so dull. I forgot his name, but because I haven't seen Demon Slayer season 3 in a while. But he was acting so dull, and then he opened up by the end. He was a really good character too. I thought he'd be boring at first, but he ended up being so relatable and cool. But of course, I love the main trio. Oh, and his sister as well. They're all good characters. They are. Okay then, everyone. That's basically it now. Thank you very much, as always, for joining the stream. You've all been so generous with your donations. Jake, as always, your generosity knows no bounds, and I really appreciate every time when you donate to me. I really do. Love all of you guys. I hope you still watch my video when I upload it about Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Doctor Doom, because my thoughts are far more cohesive in that video, and I talk about more than just Doctor Doom. I go into more details, and I would recommend you watch that video. And of course, watch my spoiler-free review of Deadpool and Wolverine as well. The only spoiler in that review is going to be from the 3rd trailer of Deadpool. That's what the only spoiler that will be there, which is something that was revealed in the trailer. So if you've seen the trailer, you can watch the review, it's fine. If you've not seen the trailer, it will be a bit of a spoiler, so that's a bit of a heads up for you. But I do also warn you of that in the actual video with text at the bottom of the screen. Oh, G-Gamer, this was your first donation. I could have sworn I saw you donate before, so congratulations and thank you very much for donating, for doing your first donation on this live stream. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. You all know that, so thank you very much as always. And if you could, please share videos as well when I upload them. Let's see if that can get the conversation going on my channel more when I do these videos. Because I worked my ass off today for those 2 videos and they were so draining, and then I had to quickly set this live stream up. So thank you very much, everyone. I love all of you. You all mean so much to me. I really appreciate everything over the years. And yeah, I will catch all of you very soon. And Matthew, I've not seen Banshee, but I've heard that's what Homelander was in. But yeah, he was promoting that like crazy at Comic-Con at one point, or at some convention. But anyway, yes, I am exhausted. I'm going to finish watching that Penguin panel now. And, oh, hang on. King of the Monsters, I just got an email from him. Buddy, I thought you said that was the last one. He's still done a donation. Let's quickly see what he's said. Hold on, everyone. I've sent the final email. Let's see what your final email is, buddy. Let's see. King of the Monster says, nope, you ain't leaving yet. Answer this final one, Eric. What poster ideas do you want for the next stream? I'll be here. For the next stream, I don't know. Maybe do the Penguin posters? Like, you know, some mock Penguin posters. Maybe see if you can do a better poster than the one that was actually going to be done for the actual show. That would be cool, because I'm really hyped right now for Batman. Maybe Deadpool Wolverine posters. That would be cool as well. So, yeah. That's, thank you for that extra donation, buddy, King of the Monsters. I really appreciate it. But, yeah. And now I'm gonna go, and, yeah. Thank you very much, all of you. Love all of you very much. And I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.